Welcome to another episode of Creativity Talking. As always, I'm Biff Strange, the engineer here at Vaudeville Studios. Welcome to Saturday nights, live with the Vag. Not stinky, but quite moist. Leon Revelle hanging out tonight. We also have Steve Schwab hanging out tonight when he comes around. And we have the great George Melton hanging out. And Paul Vance was going to hang out, but he took a sleeping pill. Birthday and the rest of the podcast family. Pat Catalano from The Beard Speaks. Rob Armstrong makes an appearance. And we hear from Lynette, our man in the boat. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 141, V's Birthday Bashcast. Take it away, Jeff. What's up, guys?
What's happening? Hey, I'm a little offended.
In the background.
I'm a little offended you didn't put my introduction photo up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Ben. What's up with that?
Right.
Yeah, there we go.
I was going to say, you got something against Neanderthals? I mean, really? I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. No.
Hey, I like that.
Oh,
there's
Robert.
There's
Oh, Robert.
And, here's 90% of the time when Jason was around me and Rob. Go ahead.
Have some.
Yeah, we used to watch people do stupid things. Watch this, Rob. Just observe the stupidity, you know.
Yeah.
Like a
What's
human
up, guys?
being.
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, man. Happy
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Oh,
Did you get your AARP card in the mail today, or?
I did get.
What'd you decide about retirement, by the way? When you're gonna
Retirement.
start
I'm an
taking-
artist. What are you talking about?
Artists can't retire. We have to ride off into the sunset.
Are you
Yeah.
are you like drinking out of like a ceramic solo cup?
It is. It's a permanent. It's a permanent.
It's a.
I've
permanent-
never seen one of those.
Better look.
Okay, it's a new, ladies and gentlemen, a
Redneck.
permanent solo cup.
Redneck Live.
Nick Live.
See, people are like, I can't believe he called a redneck cup. But it just happens to be.
Well, that's when you want to fight and cut someone at the same time.
Right. So I actually want to dedicate this podcast to 12 people on an island that happened to pass away this week
Yes.
in the ultimate act of self-defiance. We had 12 Ukrainian soldiers on an island, and I guess it was a Russian sub, if I'm correct.
Or a destroyer or something, some sort
Yeah,
of
so there's a
warship.
Russian ship.
Big boat.
Yeah, and basically said, all right, you must capitulate. You must give up to the great Russia. And their answer was, go fuck yourself.
Fuck yourselves.
Word for word, literal. I think.
Unbelievable. What, that
What is your
shows,
favorite?
that shows something that, no one in our country has,
Right.
or that we've
Balls.
seen people have.
Balls.
Well, with all due respect and not making light too much, every movie I've seen with anybody in Eastern European country is tough as nails, man. And so
Yeah.
I think they're actually giving a bit of a run for the money with these troops coming in, and I think they're a little bit more like taken back as far as what is happening with some retaliation and protection
Right.
of your home front. So yeah, cheers.
God
Yeah,
bless
and
them.
did you see that one lady who walked up to the soldiers on the
Their
street?
bravery.
Yeah.
It's a bravery.
Or even the guy, did you see the guy who got run over in that tank? And you're freaked out, but he just walked out of it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, it's
Lady walks
unimaginable.
up to the soldiers and she's like, I can't believe you're doing this. Or you know what? Here, have some fucking sunflower seeds so when your bodies drop,
Some
flowers will grow or you die.
Yeah.
And some lady in a babushka just like, fuck you,
Yeah.
get out of my town. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And I think I don't know, I think a lot of people may be learning things here because they never thought that something could get that real that quick. That could escalate into something, unfortunately, bad, but we're not here to talk about bad stuff. So hopefully people can put people over profit, peace over war, and love over death.
It'd be once in a row. Hey, maybe they will.
Right. Sure.
The writing's on the wall, gentlemen, and if we can't read it as a society here in the greatest country in the world, then I say stock up on canned food and some ammunition.
Yeah.
Right. And there is one thing you said. I don't think anyone's complaining if someone's got an AR-15 in the Ukraine right now.
That's right.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You can't. No, you're only allowed 10 bullets in a magazine, but they've got a bazooka. I don't fucking care. There is a reason, and people always think that it can't happen, but it very sudden, and especially the way they sell it on television, war can happen overnight, and the whole narrative changes.
Not only war.
I don't think Putin's own people thought that he would really do this.
Probably not.
I think he surprised the whole world, including his own inner cabinet.
Yeah.
I was telling Vince earlier that I read an article, briefly skimmed over it, that it said Putin has COVID brain. And I guess if he had COVID, again, I laughed because it was so far-fetched that I didn't even really go through it. But I thought, is this the new diagnoses that we have in the world where, these leaders who are just completely have this, Napoleon complex, if you will, can write it off as, oh, hey, I had COVID and now I'm a little bit better since you all are kicking my ass now. That
I've got a foggy brain. Foggy brain.
Exactly right. It's ridiculous.
Well,
go ahead.
I mean, in the age of unaccountability, hey, it's just one more thing, right?
Well, I was just going to say, and I think that's a great point. We talk about globally, but you look at what some of these states have done in our own country, which is lessen a lot of these capital crimes and major crime laws.
Yep.
Again, without getting too politically off in left field, the writing's on the wall. And man, I mean, it's not just war to have something to protect your family, especially if they're going to limit the craziness of laws of walking from your place of employment to your car. It's already a crazy world, and if we start taking away things like consequences, then maybe we do bring back the belt and chasing the criminal down with a damn belt, swinging that son of a gun like our parents did. I mean, I turned out all right after running a little bit, and, beating them for the first 10 laps.
Yeah, get tired.
They caught me,
ass whipping. Yeah,
exactly right.
Actually,
there was some nice
I think that's one of our big problems. Is the internet has made everyone so anonymous that they can say or do anything they want with no repercussions. Yep. I think that's been one of the problems that we've had to deal with.
I think you're absolutely right. It's one of the things that technology has been wonderful. Maybe what we need to do. You're absolutely right. But maybe what we need to do is we go back to the phone book. Everybody who has an online handle has to do it with their name and address, just like the phone book before it became obsolete. So now if somebody is talking shit, they live at ABC Drive in that state. And, there might be some consequences.
That's called doxing.
Doxing?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Dude, I don't even know half of this stuff. I'm so in a box.
Yeah, publishing people's address is doxing.
Oh, okay.
They call it. Yeah.
What is gaslighting, by the way?
Gaslighting?
That's when you lie your own farts.
I've been doing that for years.
You like the pilot, barbecue.
I'm not as behind the times as I thought I was. After
I'm an expert.
Gaslighting, Jason. This is gaslighting. I don't smoke.
Gaslighting.
Don't smoke. Never smoke. What the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't smell like smoke. Shut the fuck up. What are you even talking about? La la la, it stinks. Maybe
that's not the rude guy who walks by a restaurant and crop dusts. I mean, is it one of the same?
That's crop dusting. That's a different thing.
I know, but like on a scale
with a lighter,
it's much more thick. It just lingers there, and your dinner's ruined because you're like, damn, I think that guy just gaslit us.
Or that lady, as it were.
I don't know that lady.
Listen, there's this woman at work. She's crop dusted me like twice, man.
That's rank.
Yeah, dude.
I think you should hold her down and drive a cork in that thing.
That's hilarious.
I mean, come on. You have to deal with it practically. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, she's in her mid-70s at least, but ooh.
Let's do a preemptive strike right here.
Preemptive strike.
She got me again like a couple months ago. I was like,
you know what you should do, Jason, is they make duct tape in various styles and colors. Just put it on her seat upside so when she sits down, it just fuses and it matches maybe whatever dress she might be wearing.
Yeah, it matches her dress. Yeah,
right.
You know, too bad it doesn't like put out like purple smoke like in like
pools, swimming pools, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's a lie I could get behind.
There's dye.
Everybody has to take a pill to see who crop dusted.
Right.
Again, consequences.
Dude, this one time I was like I had the flu, and I was just getting over it, and I probably ate the worst thing on top of it, you know. So I'm at the store, and I let one go. And the lady I'm dating, right, is like walking towards me, and I'm like, stop. You know, I'm like, oh. Right? She's like, what? She's like, like, so we're running the other way, right? We're running the other way, and we're laughing and like gagging. It was one of the worst. To remember a fart over 53 years.
Yeah, that's.
You know, I have colitis, so I found out later after that. But anyway, right? So we're about 25 feet away, and we turn around, and some lady walks in there, and it looked like she had a fucking stroke. She's like, like, what the hell is that?
That's the worst.
Oh my god, that was. So
that or the most hellacious burp. Have you ever like just walked into some? There's a difference between ass and like digestive
and hot dogs.
It's like what the
here, have some stomach acid.
You're looking around and you're like, fuck.
Me and Ray used to do it all the time. You like just be sitting there.
No, that's.
You son of a
that's just foul, man.
Hey, Leon, you just triggered a memory. When I was in high school, we had an exchange student. We had a student from New Mexico move there. This guy named Lance.
New Mexico's in the fucking States.
I know. I stopped myself.
Well, no, we're right next to Puerto Rico, actually.
Georgia's like, we had an exchange student from Connecticut.
Now, y'all be nice. You don't talk like we do.
Can I see your papers, sir? I got a driver's license.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that was classic.
Shit.
But anyway, this guy used to do the trick where he'd be walking to. Go ahead, Leon.
Oh no, go ahead.
Leon's putting like toothpaste underneath his nose. Stop it!
Stop laughing at me. Anyway, go ahead. Okay.
I feel like I did sit-ups or something, man. My stomach's hurt.
That was a good one. All right.
But this guy used to do that shit where he'd be like walking towards you in the hall, and he would fart in his hand, and then hold his hand up to your nose and do that.
I've had friends that's death. That's a punch.
When you see the hand come up, you just
The problem is that whatever stood in that hand stayed, and not it didn't dissipate in that short time.
Yeah.
But it was like getting hit with a mud pie.
Oh yeah.
Boy, was it?
At least a mud pie.
That was a good one.
Release the Kraken.
Well, in all honesty, I've been to DC a lot with lobbying efforts and stuff, and you'll be surprised at some individuals who are representing other states, who have staff who are supposed to be working for other states in collaboration with the United States government, and will say, again, is New Mexico a state? You guys are in Mexico, right? And you're like, you're like the senator of the state. How do you not know New Mexico?
Right.
So yeah, it's just, and I laughed because Vince pointed it out, and I didn't catch it. But
Well,
it was
I caught
funny.
it after I said it. I was like, what the hell, because obviously I know it's a state. But
That was a good one, man. That made
No,
me.
really,
That
I
made me
get-
LOL.
And
I
by
give
the way,
Jay a
from the
lot of
earlier
hell
statement from before,
about being a slope-headed knuckle dragging Neanderthal. Me
right?
and Jay have a lot of fun with that one. See, Jay's not really evolved to the point that the rest of us know have.
That one
And
needs.
you, Jason.
That one doesn't deserve to go on a cable. The drawing of it. Remember that time?
Then we tried to see the
Oh,
longest.
oh my God! I couldn't.
But I can't tell you how many times we were sitting around the table in Florida, and Jay would say something. I look over him like, "What the hell are you talking about, you slope-headed bastard?" Let me see them knuckles. Have they still got them caps on?
Yeah,
God,
Mama Company is
you
popping
know.
out the head. Yeah.
What the hell? Hey, you've done better. There's no
I'm getting
scabs
better.
on them.
I know. Well, because I put socks on my hands when I go out.
Hey, way to go, man.
Yeah.
See,
Nice.
that's just
That's
good for
so you
our
have
plan.
friends with you at all times, you know.
See, then you can do a pop-it show,
Yeah.
when you sit down.
Yep.
Right.
Justin's like, guess who's having a threesome?
This guy.
I'll tell you what, man. I had this stuffed pretzel today that you would totally have sex with. This thing was just crazy, dude. That
Mm,
picture I sent, dude,
yeah.
that thing was like a loaf stuffed with like 6 cheeses. Yeah. People are gonna have sex with that pretzel.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Or the cook had sex with that pretzel.
Hey, well, right on.
Now, wait a minute.
Plump
You're
when he
doing the
cooked it.
math all wrong. Let's have sex with the cook. Then the cook will make the pretzels all the time.
There
I'm
you
sure-
go. Right.
You just weren't planning ahead.
I'm sure Mr. Alvarez will be quite open to your idea, Drew.
So, Mr. Alvarez. would you
Great
like
cooks,
to
man.
see
The
The hard
food is
way
amazing.
or
Yeah.
the easy way?
There's something about the movie Deliverance that makes Mr. Alvarez horny.
See, and there's where Jay comes back at me with this deliverance in Southern BS. That's Jay's retort, and a good one it is.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Keep rolling. I hear banjos.
That's Jay's Dayton music.
Oh, yeah.
Bring out the livestock.
These days, my date music is just cracking my knuckles.
Boy.
Nice. Yeah.
Classy.
You know, what's her name? Natalie. Let's call her Natalie. She just calls that yoga.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Jason's like, oh, my girlfriend's at yoga class. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Vince,
Uh-huh.
I know it's your birthday, and I didn't buy you anything. I didn't know what you're into,
Oh, I don't need nothing.
but I know you're an art lover, and so I wrote you a poem.
Absolutely.
You want to hear it?
Absolutely.
All right. It's called a Yankee. Hang on. Damn Yankee birthday. As if just being Yankee weren't bad enough, but you have to have birthdays and us buy you stuff. Indeed. I know what to give them. Let's give them what for. Let's stomp big mud holes in their asses and show them the door. I can't see. But I know me some Yankees. That one actually cracked me up. I cracked myself up. But I know me some Yankees, and I know of their likes. They like their own heads on lances and spikes. They like lots of cyanide hid in their pies. They like sharp, burning sticks jammed in their eyes.
That's true.
They like lacerations on a funeral pyre, then tortured and beat and then set on fire.
Nice.
So don't waste your cabbage on cool toys and blankies. Do what I said and make them good Yankees.
Thank you, sir. And now, everybody, now you know why the South lost the war.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you for the art.
We all pitched in and sent you $20 in greenbacks.
Greenbacks, I want them silver certificates from the South. My God, that shit don't spin down here.
Sherman. Shit.
Oh man.
Right. Okay. Let's see here. Gonna bring up a little message from Rob.
Hey Vince, just wanted to wish you a very happy birthday from beautiful Punta Cana. I'm not gonna have network this weekend. I'm gonna be out to Santo Domingo visiting her mom, and but I wanted to take a minute and wish you a very happy birthday. And sorry I couldn't be on the podcast this weekend, so we'll have to make up some time later. I have a special guest that also wants to wish you a happy birthday.
Happy birthdays. Have a wonderful day in cold Chicago.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Vince.
So from the both of us from Punta Cana, we'll talk soon. Happy birthday and talk to you later. Bye.
Nice. There's Rob checking in.
Not too shabby, man.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
I'm in the corner with my blanket here tied up on the wall like it's my window dressing. So I'm a little jealous that I'm not on a
That's
beach.
a nice blanket. No, it's a nice blanket. I was seeing if my blanket's not there. Seth has it. But.
No, I actually I needed something because I doing these crazy meetings now, but the Muscalero tribe gave me this blanket. I don't know if you can see it, but
Nice.
yeah, no, and it cuts down on sound stuff and such and echo and all that stuff. So,
it looks good.
Well, I mean, can I say? Lucky.
Yeah, look at Jason's got a floating tampon over his shoulder.
I didn't want to say nothing, but I'm like, damn, that's a long string on that cupcake.
Yeah, flip it over.
How far did you put that thing in there? I mean,
yeah.
How deep is that thing? Like,
What's
maybe a rod and reel. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
All you need
kind
right
of
now
lures
is like
that?
a red hat, Jason, and you look just like a gnome. Look at
Yeah.
Look at a garden gnome. Look at it. Exactly.
No, man.
Just like a garden gnome was just like pissed off at everyone who walks by. What are you doing?
Get off my lawn!
Get off my lawn. Yeah.
Oh, aren't you cute? Fuck off!
Holy crap.
Dog died. Yeah.
All right, guys, I've got to refuel. Give me about 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
No problem. Go right ahead. I'm gonna. Yeah. So I appeared on a podcast this week called "The Beard Speaks" with Pat Catalano, and it was the Christian and the Atheist. I was the atheist. Who would have known?
No, you should have reversed that. How that would have been a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be on there again, and Pat will be on here as well. So yeah, it went really well.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, Pat's a cool dude.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the Motley Crue tour on that, Leon.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts about that tour? I mean, we touched on a little bit last week, but
Well, I mean, a lot of dynamics there. Just even in general of breaking up, reconvening, calling it quits, doing the last tour, coming back again. I don't fault anybody for saying it's a last tour. You travel with everybody daily. You sleep. You eat. Even if you take
Right.
separate buses, at some point you're just like, God damn, this has to be the last tour. I'm quitting.
Right.
And then you take a
Right.
break, and then you're like, you love it.
Yeah.
It's so it's in your
I have enough
body.
money. I don't need this bullshit.
I mean, but you miss it. I can only imagine how the times have changed, but the rock star classification and status that comes with still feels like royalty. I mean,
Right.
can you imagine?
Well, here's the thing. Even though if you're traveling in luxury, it's the first word. Traveling. You still gotta
Tough.
do it,
It's tough. It's tough to be gone on the road. Even if you took your family, then they're bored. And that's the thing. I've seen a few documentaries where people are traveling all over the world, these name bands, and they go, "Yeah, you want to see what I've done today?" From their hotel window, they just open up the drapes.
Yeah.
There's Prague, or there's Spain, and that's it. So it's not like they're going on, these vacations. They're going in, checking into a hotel, they're sleeping and sound check, setting up, doing a show, and you guys, you do a 2-hour gig, you're wiped out.
Yeah.
You're tired, and more so if you have to load all your own shit, but
Right.
you're still tired. You give it all. So yeah, I think there used to be a time where they suck, and just in general, Metallica sucks. They sold out.
Every place they
every place they play, they sell out. Absolutely.
Good for them.
But I will tell you this, gentlemen. When Metallica first broke way back in the mid to early 80s, and one of the first cassette tapes I ever got was Metal Massacre. So that's when I first heard Metallica.
Yeah, me too.
And then I got Kill 'Em All, and then it was like that was my band.
Yeah.
Then the Black Album comes out, and it changes a little bit. Still a great album, and then it goes to the other stuff that I haven't really listened to. But I feel like if somebody says Metallica today in this day and age of 2022, I get a little offended. Hey, that's my Metallica.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but
because we were there at the beginning,
there's like a bond, if you will. I never met them. I never hung out with them.
Right.
Yeah.
But you just felt like
one of their newer songs, "Moth to the Flame," is like, dude, that's old Metallica. They're starting to come back again as they're older. But if you do the same thing, you're gonna get bored.
And that's the other thing too, where I think when I hear again Metallica, or I say, "Oh, have you heard?" And I can't even actually name the last albums after, which sounds again a bit like I'm being a pompous ass, and I'm not. I don't know what those are, but there's just something that I can't go past the Black Album. I can't. I want to, and I've heard some of the other stuff, but I just like what? And then somebody says, "Oh,
you lost
Metallica's awesome." What the hell? Like Refuel or Reload.
Load and Reload. Yeah. So when they went high,
somebody says, "Oh, that album's great." I don't even have to be in a conversation. I'm like, "Oh, what the hell is this guy talking about? He doesn't know Metallica."
Right.
So I feel like there's some bond there that I can't get past when I think about things. But for crew fans and even seeing him and appreciating what they've done for the world of music. Yeah, man, I say you tore your heart out, and when you can.
Yeah.
And traveling, and you get older, I'll tell you what, man, I used to do it a lot for my job. You leave your family behind. You're having a little bit of fun, but you just can't wait to go home. You can't wait to sleep in your own bed. Dog kiss you and all those little things. Even yelling at the kids when you're not home. Like you miss that on the road or in a hotel room. You get yelling at the housekeeper. Exactly. What the hell? You didn't make my bed.
Right.
She's looking at you like, what the hell? So yeah, man, I say do it, and I'd absolutely see them. And the stuff that even just Tommy Lee's doing on, with this whole drum niche that he has, I mean, great drummer anyway, but to do it on the level of 11, I can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah.
Even if it's just plain, it's still pretty damn cool.
Right.
I don't know about poor Vince though, but if he has the chops, you've seen some videos where you just. So I don't know, man. Maybe that's the capper where, we're playing, and if someone's off, if I'm a shitty drummer in the band, you guys are going to be looking at me like, "Oh man, we might have to have a talk if we're going to do this stuff." So, if anything's going to happen, it might be based on the ability to perform every night or every other night.
Right. I mean, Vince doesn't. I mean, my opinion is Vince doesn't sound good. He I don't know why he hadn't spent the last 2 years training, vocally, training physically. Like I was joking to Pat on the show the other day. I'm like, dude, I said, Pat, if it was our band and we went on tour and we're each going to make $50 million, I would expect that I could bounce a quarter off your fucking ass.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, it's like if you're going to be quarterback for the football team, dude,
got to be able to throw past 5 yards, man. And every day, every time.
Blues. It's not, it's not an art form that lends it. Are we being weightist or whatever? Yeah, of course. But
Well, you look at Don Dawkins' videos, his latest videos. He's almost the same way, and you're just you almost feel you're not sad like it's kind of you do because you know the chops he has, the pipes he has.
We love
and to be able to bellow and scream at those high levels and just kind of go all over the spectrum and to hear that, man, it's so I don't know, all these tours that are happening. And again, I think, the pandemic had a lot to do with it. People are broke or bored and wanting to either go out and make money or wanting to go out and get some whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But man, I'll tell you, I think there needs to be a time. And again, I'm the same way. I have to change my career path, and I'm scared to death because I've only been doing this for so long. Can I do this? And I don't know. I want to stick with this, but it's tough. So, but I'd see them, and I don't know if I'd pay $400, $500 a ticket, which some of these concerts are going for, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is crazy, man.
But I'm taking my
$1,200. So you can listen to her talk politics for half the concert.
Oh my god,
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's
isn't it?
I mean, who's paying this?
Well,
I shouldn't say that, because I'll tell you what, guys. There's this internet guy my daughter loves, and I just spent $200-$300 on merchandise from a guy I don't even know on TikTok, and I'm like, I'm in the wrong damn business.
Yeah. You whore.
I'm like, what the hell? I'm telling you, I am bitching every 5 minutes, but I'm also trying to understand that she's, 15-year-old girl, and I have to foot the bill.
Yeah.
So $1,500. I laugh, but I'm like, oh well, maybe I'm the sucker too, because I don't even know this guy that I'm buying shit for.
Right.
Hey, so Vinny, that reminds me, I've had an idea. What do you think? Let me tell you. Well, all you guys, let me throw an idea at you. See what you think. So all these influencers and TikTokers and all this stuff, I've been thinking, on Sunday evenings, I like to go to the grocery store and buy some wine and spend some time bathing and, have my Sunday evenings.
We welcome Steve to the program.
But walk into the grocery store and see 5 lines of wine, and you don't know what any of them are. You don't know what any of them taste like. You don't really know anything. So I thought here about a month and a half ago, well, shit, let's just try them and go through them and see what we find. So naturally, I started in the red section, and I found 2 wines, a Malbec and another one that I'd never even heard of before. There's different kinds of wines, and there's like 4 or 5 brands of these different kinds of. I thought, what I'm going to do? I'm going to start some TikTok videos, and I'm going to be the peasant's choice. That's who I'm going to be. And I'm going to go through the wine section, and I'm going to say, look, you don't have to have a lot of money to have good taste. here's what these wines are, and you can find them at your grocery store. And I'm thinking, man, the grocery stores would endorse that. The wine companies would endorse that. I could get endorsements from all
I
over.
think it's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
And all I'm doing
A whole
is
section
trying all
on,
these different
bottles
wines.
you
And
can carry
saying
on
this
your
one
10-speed
sucks
with
and
your
this one
pinky.
doesn't. So, I mean,
Well,
I don't know.
I'm that close
What do
from
you
starting
think?
an OnlyFans account, so I say go for it.
Yeah.
What wine pairs with this,
See, and I can do
outfit?
that.
I scraped this squirrel off Route 42, and I found this Malbec goes really nice with it.
Nice.
This possum stew.
Now,
and,
this squirrel
this
here,
cab.
this is a brown squirrel. It's not a gray squirrel. So you're going to want to have a little bit lighter colored wine with this one.
I'd watch that video.
Yeah, dude. George, all kidding aside, if you do it, you really need to throw a little bit of that not like redneck nonsense in it, like for comedy's sake.
I think you
With
should.
the
That's
wine,
a
you
winner.
think it would match?
I
Here's
think
your
it's
bottle of
comedy
wine you can
gold.
tape to your 10-speed.
I love it. I love it.
But it's a wine tasting thing. Are the wine people going to appreciate the redneck?
No, it's a great
part?
idea. No, I mean it's a great idea. I'm saying you could throw like a comedy element in it, though. Would make it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I'm not knocking the idea is fantastic. I'm just
Absolutely.
saying, you can make it some comedy too. Just to make it.
So you got to think it's an okay idea.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, can I comment here on something, gentlemen?
Absolutely.
I have not. There's about a small circle of guys, people in my life as I've traversed from high school through where I'm at today. And one of them I had not seen in, what about 30 years? Is that how long it's been? Since 2000, maybe 2003? I don't know, my math's bad.
Less than 30.
28 years, but the gentleman that just popped on, man, I have not seen him in all that time. I've always thought about him. And when one day we were talking and he said, Steve Schwab and I had a great conversation. I'm like, holy shit. I've always thought about it. I just thought that circle was never going to come round. So to have that complete today and be a part of the show on this birthday and great company and see this gentleman pop on, I just got to say, wow. Steve Schwab, I applaud you, sir. You changed my life in many ways, and I absolutely appreciate it. It's made me the person that I've strived to be for a very long time, and it started somewhere, and that was with you. And I'll tell you, I used to bug him almost daily. So after we finished the first part of the program, I did the second part of the program, which was the business and marketing side of it. And so I would also I'd get to the school very early and I'd say, hey, Mr. Schwab, can you open up the door so I can go in the studio? So he'd come down, he'd open the door, and I'd get to do what I need to do for an hour. Then I'd go to class. But that was every day. Now, the downside is I hadn't been in the studio since, so that kind of sucks. But the great news was if I was on a path to be a top-notch recording engineer and producer, the gentleman with us today was going to be the reason why. So, Steve, it's a pleasure to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you for everything, man. It's really made a difference in my life, and there's a lot more to go. So, circle is complete, and it's time to go in another awesome direction with another beginning of a circle. So.
Yeah, and he's very humble. He's very humble about it because I tell him all the time because he changed my life and he was the first person to ever believe in me professionally. And it's like a huge difference at that age that you had someone that was cool as Steve that was like really just level.
Absolutely, and I think that that was the beauty of
is your life, Steve.
That's right.
I just popped on, but thank you. It's very humbling. Thank you.
It's a reverse roast.
And happy birthday, Vince. Yeah. I love you guys. You know that.
It's a reverse roast, Steve, and we could harp on, but no, really, because I have not had. I think I sent you a message. I sent you from a messenger, and so that's probably the only time I've been able to just say what I wanted to say, and so to do so now, man, It's really cool. So, and I know great stuff in the works, and I'm absolutely proud again to be on here tonight and hang out. My Saturdays, my weekdays are tough. I walk to school and work with no shoes in 40-degree weather. The crops in the field died, and I just had to shoot my horse for dinner. So it's been a tough couple of years, but to be here now, hey, it's all worth it. I can get another mule anywhere.
Right.
I got 2 friends already. George and Jason's going to hook me up with a mule. So, hey.
Well, Jason can certainly hook you up with some goats.
Yeah.
I'm not screwing no donkey, Leon. Sorry.
Do I have a story about that? I'll tell you I'll tell you the story of that when I went to Mexico one time. Oddly enough, that's a thing. But I had one eye closed. I was a minor.
Was this Tijuana?
Well, let's just say I had to audition, and I showed up to the wrong playhouse. Enough said.
Gotcha.
That
was
was a joke in there.
Beers?
That was a joke in there.
So you were the star of the donkey show? Is that what you're telling us?
I came out, I'm like, what the hell's that donkey doing? And why is he happy? I left.
Oh, no.
Vince, you've been on set before. I bet you're imagining that donkey going,
"Oh, Cisco!"
Well, Leon, you had more success than I did. I was in corps school in San Diego, training to be a hospital corpsman, and a bunch of us went down to Tijuana for leave on a Friday, I guess. And we ended up in a taxi cab in Tijuana, a Mexican driver, and the Marines wanted to see the donkey lady. We want to see the donkey lady. And we're all crammed into a taxi, doing circles in Tijuana. The driver's like, I'll just drive them around and run up the rate. What a bunch of idiots. So he said, I take you to see the donkey lady. No problem. So, the Marines are all excited, and, we're the Navy corpsmen in there. They love us. But, it was pretty stupid. But he must have driven around the block, 10 times and dropped us off at some club, and there was no donkey lady there.
Steve, I have a similar story. This is in Juarez. We go down there where, of course, you're not even 18 yet. And my brother says,
right.
There's no, no one speaks Spanish. We know dirty words, but no one really speaks the language. So we get in this little Mazda, and there's 4 of us. We cram in this Mazda. This driver that's what he did. And the streets are we're going up to the Roman Empire. They're the size of a damn, horse and buggy. And he's just like, it's the Indy 500. So he takes us to this place. And it has a blue neon light. It's a gray building, just no windows, just a facade and a door. We walk in, and there's benches of girls and a guy with a shotgun by the door. I'm not kidding you.
What was Jason doing there?
He had the wallet.
Help.
He had the wallet. But yeah, it was so we didn't get. We wanted to go to a stripper bar. Ended up.
Jason would have had a blunderbuss.
So yeah, I could. When you're telling a story, I could relate. We're in the car, we're back in, and we're just going in circles. And it's the things you do when you don't speak a second language. I guess there's a rules. There's a life lesson in there.
Oh, for sure. Because I'm trying to find a country you can speak Pig Latin.
Still searching, huh?
Yeah.
Ixnay on the I don't even know how to speak it. I tried.
Attenlay. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna play a little message here from Pat Catalano and The Beard Speaks.
Hey, this is Pat Catalano from the band Catalano and the host of the Beard Speaks podcast. Just want to wish my buddy Vince a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, buddy. Rock out. Peace.
Nice.
Pat's a cancer survivor, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Wow.
Yeah, some cool stuff. And we met in Toys for Tots events. His band that year was him and my buddy Dean was a singer, and Firehouse was the headliner. So Pat would do the show for Toys for Tots
Nice.
every year. So that's how we met. So yeah, so he has got a fuck cancer Catalano band, fuck cancer thing going. He had another podcast that was political, and you know, everyone is entitled to their own view, and he, you know, like a lot of people find out if you talk about politics publicly, it, you know, creates, you know, so now he's talking about music and guy stuff, and you know, men's mental health, you know, so a little similar to what we're doing here. So
Nice.
you know, he's in our circle now, and you know, so we'll all be interchanging and making sure that men have a safe place to I don't mean safe place, but so, you know, men can talk about stuff. Like Leon, you did what you did to Steve when he first came on, and you bludgeoned him with your tears.
And right.
I did.
Brown,
I did.
with your admiration.
Hey, it's Steve.
You know, it's like you run. I saw myself in slow motion. And,
But that's
embracing
like
him.
exactly what we're talking about.
And then
some
Steve
people-
going like this.
Right.
Well, you know, hey Vince, you know,
that whole
I love the way
punching
he's
thing.
I love the way he segued so flawlessly from that into bestiality. Though it was effortless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what?
When you're a politician, you can easily
And he got in another taxi, and
You
they're like,
just
"Hey,
go
you know
right
about
into
the
it like
donkey
that.
lady?"
Yeah, what
Yeah,
was
I didn't
that?
know.
Driver's like, "Oh, you don't want to see the donkey. You want to go to the rhinoceros."
Well, you know,
Yeah, that
we
was
had
pretty
that
effortless,
shared
wasn't it?
we had that
I mean,
shared experience, so that you know, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's
Yeah, I
a
think
small
everyone
world,
in
man. It
Tijuana
really
has
is.
a story. You know?
I mean, I don't know how many more Hallmark moments we can stand tonight. Really, you know what I mean?
Put that on a card.
Oh man.
Uh-huh.
OMG.
That was a nice segue.
That is funny.
Well, Steve, you know, in all honesty, you missed a geography lesson. I have to have papers in order to travel out of the state of New Mexico. So we'll let Jason tell the story again. But it's something that I knew there was a reason I had to get a passport, because I am going on travel out of state. So I'll let Jason tell the story. But
Steve, I was just telling him about how we had a exchange student from New Mexico when I was in high school one time.
From New Mexico. Mm-hmm.
it flew right over my head until V said something. And I just lost it because I thought, wow.
Well, you know, I grew up in the Catskill Mountains. What can I say? It was...
There are 15 states, damn it. Leave me alone.
Same as he's always been. What's wrong with you?
13 colonies.
13.
God
Yeah,
damn it.
we had the old flag with the 13 stars in front of the school.
Two
What
bars
territory
and-
are you from?
Yeah. Western.
Right.
Oh,
man.
man.
Uh-huh. So yeah, so Steve, we also dedicated this show tonight to the 12 outstanding Ukrainians who are on that island, who basically stuck the big middle finger up to the Russian warship when they were told to capitulate. They said, "Go fuck yourself," and then they were all wiped out. So that's what we're, you know, not in humor, but in respect of their bravery. You know, that was pretty interesting to see. You know, I think you're on mute. You there?
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, okay, now I can hear you. So,
Yeah,
do you have
yeah.
any thoughts on the Ukraine thing?
Well, you know, I have a lot of thoughts on warfare and pursuing peace. I'm disappointed about the results of it
Right.
and where it's headed. I don't like the constant encroachment since the end of the Cold War and the NATO expansion. I think that's been a mistake. But you know, sadly, it's turned into a shooting event. But I think some of the reports coming out of there are, tainted with a lot of propaganda. So I'm hoping that the news, the real news, is actually better, and both sides will sit down at the negotiating table soon. Hopefully.
Right. Mm-hmm. And how was your week?
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no complaints.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah, man. How about you, birthday boy?
It was good. It was good. Kind of tied one on last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw the pictures. Looks like you had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then today went out for dinner with my oldest. My youngest brought me breakfast, and he'll be taking me out on Monday for some steak.
That's nice. How was the French toast and bacon?
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
As always,
Cool.
But the dinner, I had walleye for dinner, and and we had this. It was a stuffed pretzel, but it looked like a loaf. A pretzel.
I saw that picture.
Yeah, and it was filled with like 6 different types of cheese.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, never wanted to had sex with the pretzel before. I mean, it was that good. It's like everyone's like, "Oh my god." But So
cool.
And that's why Jason isn't allowed at Farm and Fleet anymore.
Right.
What? Oh my.
Right.
The abuse continues.
Absolutely.
And he takes it with
absolutely
in great gesture.
That's what buddies do,
Yeah, that's how you know they love you.
Not giving each other shit,
Well, Listen, he doesn't understand most of the words we're using. So he really,
right.
He doesn't catch on, so he just
Pop, beer. Pop.
Yeah,
Right.
like Charlie Brown's teacher.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah, and the voice of Charlie Brown died a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Absolutely. And okay, so back to the Motley Crue tour. So, Leon.
Yes, sir.
So Motley Crue, I don't think Vince should tour because he's not in good enough shape. I think he should. There's a lot of money. This is a business. There's a lot of money on the line there. You know what I mean? And who's as big as Motley Crue to take care of the, I don't know.
Well, it's interesting too, because I think you hit the nail right on the head. This is money, but there are things that you learn as you age. So now you're talking liabilities, you're talking about front cost, you're talking about things, all these percentages with bandmates. And again, I go back to the comment, even if you're an original member and you can't hold your own, that hard decision, do you continue on?
Right.
And do you replace that person, even if it is Vince Neil or Tommy Lee or whomever? And I think that's going to be the hard conversations with some of these bands. You look at Kiss farewell tour. I can almost guarantee that they'll come back for another run, which is fine. But I
don't think
really
would be physically able to.
Well, that's the thing too. And at what point do you? It's tough. It's really tough to give up on what you've been doing for so long. That love, that passion. So, you have to, and I'm acting like I've made that.
Well, here's the thing too,
conceded to my thoughts, but I haven't. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. And
I think the reason why, and I said this on the other podcast, I think the reason why that they had that cease of touring agreement, because you can bet that Vince was going to call it Vince Neil's Motley Crue. And that was to stop him from tarnishing the brand.
Well, then again, you look at those.
I think that's an important point. I mean, if you've got this Motley Crue brand, which you do,
right?
That has value.
Mm-hmm.
I do enough marketing to tell you that the Motley Crue brand has a value. Mm-hmm. When one of the members or the actions of the band start damaging that brand, if I'm the one financing this whole crapping thing, I'm gonna start raising hell here somewhere, because I've spent a lot of money to build that brand, and it's worth something. I'm not gonna let you crazy bastards just run around and destroy it because you're in a mood.
Right. And here's the weird thing too, because with Motley Crue, on one hand, they are one of the biggest rock bands in the world, and they do, like, you know, they're probably our generation's not Rolling Stones level type of band.
Really?
Not as in talent, but as in reach.
Me and you both, Steve, they might be.
You know what I mean? No, but as in, like, a lot of people are going to go see Motley Crue if they tour. A lot of people, just like Rolling Stones, you know,
because of the value of the brand.
Yeah, you know, because not be, you know, but is there another band from that generation? Not really, because, you know, Nirvana's gone. You know, a lot of people are dead from that. So the only people around that still have all the members is Motley Crue. You know, but you have Kiss. Kiss is going away. All the other older performers are going to be going away. Now, what Kiss was going to do, they had a reality television show, and they had to, like, kick the can down the road because they were going to do a reality show, and this would affect their ticket sales for the final tour. But they're already picking out their new members for the new Kiss.
I heard
and
that.
Kiss is going to continue as 4 other guys.
Wow.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Me and you both, Steve. Really?
Yeah.
That's
And
what
think
I
about
heard.
it. You can have a Chinese Kiss. You can have a South American Kiss.
Yeah.
You can have, you know.
But that's like
You
trying
can
to
have a
remake
French
The
kiss.
Princess Bride.
Right.
Why would you do some crap like that?
I'm here all night. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody. I'm logging off.
Use the same, you know, if you think that idea is going to make money,
Right.
use the same idea. Give it a different name, for God's sake.
Well, they're just going to call, you know, that's what it is. It's Kiss music, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I
Not
agree
by the
with
members.
both.
It just didn't do it.
It'll be like the Kiss experience.
Rubbish.
Oh yeah.
You know,
there
like
you go.
ABBA. You know, they're
Yeah.
building
You
that
know,
whole
all the
big
knockoff
thing.
bands. You
know.
you can go and see, like, you guys remember Cam Falk from the Art Institute? He taught some recording.
Yeah.
He's a musician.
I think I do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
does the name familiar? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's in a Journey knockoff band, and they're very popular down there. But they're all over the place. So
Wow.
you know, if Kiss is going to roll out their product, they're going to maintain control over it.
Yeah.
And you get all these knockoff bands. They
And that's
they want to own it. It's
yeah, and that's
interesting.
the weird thing, George, about Kiss, or not Kiss, sorry, about Motley Crue. You have two things happening. Motley Crue, the band, is huge, and Vince Neil plays fairs and street fairs and county fairs. That doesn't jive with that level of, you know, ticket sales.
Well, and I don't mean to be judgmental, but I've seen him lately, and you're right. He's not in shape to be in tour with Motley Crue. He's just not. That's not there.
You know, and
So,
he
I
had
mean,
2 years to lose that weight and get in shape and get his voice in order. And
at some look,
you
guys, come on. It's like you're saying, Vince. It's a $50 million tour. At some point, you have to say, look, do you mean it or don't you?
right,
Is your ego so big that you think your ego alone can support this tour?
right.
Or do you think you should train and actually make a product that these people are going to be worth buying?
Right.
I think that's the $1 million question for even the fans going to the show. You know, I want to wear a Motley Crue shirt that I'm going to cut every inch out. So, you know how we used to layer those? Well, let me tell you what's going to be oozing out of the sides, guys. You know, so my retro days of wearing sexy spandex and spaghetti top concert shirts are. And I,
Hey,
you know,
Leon, your balls are hanging out of your Motley Crue shorts.
You know, you got to understand that Vince Neil, in his mind, looks, you know, the denim jacket I'm wearing doesn't fit, you know, but hey, I'm, and so you have that ego. And again, that rock star, you had everybody bow at your beck and call, just for snapping your fingers. So yeah, it is money, but it's more than money. It's feeling. No, I understand, but it's just a feeling of just wanting to be there, even if you're just there on stage. I was there on stage just singing. I don't know what the hell singing. There's that what's that, Kickstart My Heart, where you know, you hear these lyrics and like, what the hell is he saying? I mean, they make sense. They're not the lyrics of the damn song, but they make sense. So yeah, it is ego, and age with Kiss and all this other stuff. It is so. Like for us, it's nostalgic. I went to see Kiss because my middle son is a huge Kiss fan. I wasn't about to spend all this money for the Kiss experience, but I took him because, I'm dad and I had a connection. So I made a call.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, and I get that people are going to do that, but it goes back to what I said earlier about, day one. Day one, if you were day one with Kiss, or maybe you were the guy, I can't remember the guy's name, who started the Kiss Army, and now it's 2022, that whole kind of homage, that personal feeling, that belonging to the band that you were with day one, I don't know, man, it kind of loses its pristine. And so you're just kind of going, oh, Motley Crue's going on tour again. Oh, well, I saw him 2 years ago and it was pretty cool. Am I going to see him again? I mean, somebody buys me a ticket, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
So it's not the same meat you pulled off the grill 20 years ago. It's
exactly right.
Not.
Yeah. Exactly right.
Kickstart My Heart. I mean, you could.
This band doesn't sound like. Well, yeah, because they're 60.
They could be a commercial for defibrillators. Kickstart My Heart.
For the next big pharma pill. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You need your heart kick-started, but a finger.
Yeah, there's a good product tie-in, right?
I like mac and cheese, and then you pass out and you take this pill and you're like, yes. And it works.
Yeah.
And if I understand the story behind those lyrics, that actually would work. I mean, it was
my heart.
Yeah.
My heart.
I get high on mac and cheese is what I'm hearing. I don't know what anybody else is hearing, but mac and cheese is what I'm getting high on in that Kickstart My Heart song. But that's what these bands, and I don't know if they're doing that, but a lot of the band or members of the band who own their own catalog are starting to sell them for millions of dollars.
Yeah, Kiss did say they would sell for $1 billion.
And
seriously,
so, why
everything.
not? I mean,
wow.
Yeah, it's your
Neil
baby.
Young got $400 million
but...
for half his catalog. Dylan got $500 million. That guy's. I don't get Dylan.
I don't get.
Well, Dylan's a great songwriter, but he's like Sheryl Crow. He can't carry a tune in a bucket. I mean, his lyrics are great.
What did Cheryl ever do to you, man?
His lyrics are great, but he should have
Well,
I'll tell you what, it's a testament to the.
What?
I was going to say
Sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
Go ahead, George. Jorge.
No, I wasn't. I was just.
The money, it's just astounding the money that these guys are getting to cash out. Yeah. It's a testament to how valuable media product is. It's amazing.
Yeah, so
absolutely amazing.
I think another band touring, which I don't understand this at all. Heart is touring as Heart without Nancy Wilson.
Yeah, I saw that.
But it's not Heart without Nancy Wilson.
No, but Nancy Wilson's doing another project at the same time that Ann's doing something, so it's bypass, I'm guessing.
But that's weird. That means that she must own the Heart brand.
You know what I mean?
In order to call it Heart, though, that's just a weird thing. Because they both own the brand.
To me, it's like Van Halen without David Lee Roth.
Right.
It's like cover bands.
They're still great. Yeah. They're not Van Halen anymore. They're Van Hagar.
Right.
They're still great, but they're not Van Halen.
Yeah, and people say what they want about Dave, but you know what? Dave never showed up. Dave never showed up to sing on a track. He was always in shape. Even at 65 years old, he's out there, zero body fat, doing his thing. Doesn't sound the best, but people are used to hearing people lip sync. They're not used to seeing live vocal performances.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that was the experience. If you expect the old Van Halen experience, that's David Lee Roth.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Van Halen is the two brothers. It's not the name doesn't have anything to do with David.
Right.
But the experience was David as the front man.
Mm-hmm. I think they should have changed their name when Sammy came out. I totally agree.
I agree. Van Hagar.
Yeah. Or or even whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Go back to Mammoth experience. But yeah, but Hart singing with without Nancy Wilson is kind of odd.
Yeah.
But
well,
same with Queen. It amazes me that they're able to sell tickets.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anything about the new guy, Alan Lambert, but when they were with Paul Rogers, that didn't make any sense at all to me.
Yeah.
Great singer, different
didn't fit
thing altogether.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting, and again, I said the word nostalgia. For us, it's a whole different thing, and I think the analogy of it's not the same steak on the grill. My daughter, she'll be 15 on Monday, and she was I was cooking dinner the other night, and she put her phone down, and Alice in Chains came on. I saw the Dirt album cover on the phone pop up.
Nice.
And it tripped me out. I thought, what is that? And she looked at me like, huh? And I said, what is that? Is that Alice in Chains? She goes, yeah. And I go, holy shit. So, it was cool, but it was like, and I think it was more proud of the dad kind of, she's finding her own. But it was funny because I felt myself. I had to stop myself by going, oh my God, check out this track. Oh my God, I saw them over in the 90 blah blah blah, and check this out. So I almost ruined the experience for her because she saw it. In her mind, it's a whole different thing than what my mind was, and I think that's the thing about again why some of these tours are successful. They had a lot of build up, a lot of marketing. We're all talking about it. We've kind of experienced it in its infancy, saw it grow, saw it change, and now it's a whole new demographic.
Oh, it's Adam Lambert. I was corrected by Man on the Boat.
Well, that whole Adam Lambert thing, I'm like, I couldn't. I'm judging. I'm like that. That sounds nowhere like Freddie Mercury to me, but.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great performer on his own, but yeah.
Well, I don't know. Again, I'm narrow-minded in a lot of regard with
I watched
music
that season
sometimes.
and I knew he was going to win the first time I saw him play. I'm like, that dude's winning. Anyway.
Well,
I'll
give you that. I don't know the guy.
Anyway.
I don't think he sounds anything nowhere near, and I think he does a disservice to the band. But hey.
Oh, to Queen? Yeah, I don't think either.
But this whole new audience is really just buying it. And again, it's kids, it's parents like myself buying $80 sweatshirts from this kid on TikTok, and I'm going, what the hell is this? I'm not wearing the shirt. I don't know the guy from Adam or Eve, and I think that's the beauty of it. But I want my old steak back. I want my old steak back. I want it cooked the way it was cooked way back when.
Well, see, here's the thing.
Kids today don't understand overdosing in the parking lot of your local record store, sleeping out for tickets.
Yeah, I didn't.
Bottles everywhere.
I didn't share that story, but I kind of wanted to, and I don't think I would be as cool, or I don't know, if my daughter said, "Hey, can I go camp out for tickets?" I mean, I know everything's automated and you push a button on your phone, but it's a whole different thing, and it trips me out that she sees this new music, and in her mind, new music, and it's. For me, cool, but yeah, man, I got to say that I want my steak, and I want to eat it too, and I want to eat it the way it was cooked way back when. And
if I might throw something in there, your conversation is leading to something that I'm concerned about, is the future of the music industry. Look at who our stars are now. I mean, they're basically whores and strippers and men with mental problems. I mean,
what website was it?
They don't write their own stuff. They don't really do anything.
They're product.
Yeah. They're not even a product. They're a part of a product. It's
right. Well, there's like the whole thing that the Disney band
and the ones that will do anything for money, no matter what, and kind of look pretty according to today's standards. And they put them out there as that's today's music. I mean, I watched a Billie Eilish video the other day. I don't know anything about her, and I thought, well, before I fuss, I should at least look at it. And this thing was elaborately produced, extensive, and it had no meaning, zero goose egg. It didn't mean shit. It was a bunch of effects and talking about some party she'd went to, and that was it. I don't even know if there was a boy involved. I mean, what the hell? There's no message. There's no content. There's no substance. It's all just flash and pizzazz and bullshit. And that's what all this money being thrown at the music industry, that's what it's all going to, and that's what they're all doing. Where does that leave us in the future? What, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, really, the high quality content is Kiss made over compared to that bullshit right there. Just saying.
Yeah.
I can't understand what these TikTok videos are that people, and again, maybe I'm the idiot because everyone's making $1 million in a week doing these TikTok videos. But, that's the thing where.
Hey, you can help me with the
with the wine thing. You know I will. I'm going to do that. But, it's interesting because I think V made a good point. You see the level of talent in these kids in this generation. You got 5-year-olds, you got 6-year-olds, you got 7-year-olds picking up a guitar and just shredding, getting on the drums and just playing to this music. And I think that speaks to maybe some duality of stuff. One being you want to be that parent who says, hey, check this out. Check out this song. Or you're playing it in the car as you're going to school. And somehow they kind of pick it up and they're like, hey, you guys have guitars, and kid picks it up and starts playing it. Mm-hmm. But at what point was there instead of a handing of that torch, you had to figure out how to create the fire. You had to figure out how to carry that. So you had to cut your teeth somewhere, which was sleeping in the parking lot, not eating and touring in a car, or whatever the case may be. Or you weren't even allowed to touch guitars. You weren't allowed to touch somebody's drums or anything like that. So there was no allowability, if you will, for a lot of people to be exposed the way kids are exposed today. And I think that's, again, the beauty of it to the Billie Eilish thing. And is it good? Is it bad? I don't know, man. But, some music, like the whole, and I don't understand it, and I do appreciate the musicianship. What's that? They call them the Led Zeppelin cover band. It's that new band.
Greta Van Fleet?
Yes.
Yeah.
People love them. Okay. I listen to him and I'm like, what the hell? That dude does not look like a lead singer. So, I'm kind of judging already based on my warped perceived standard of what we saw as a lead singer. And so, yeah, man, I just, I don't want to extinguish a flame of anybody. I do want to nurture some stuff, but I think, how are we holding on to our generational torch? And maybe in some way, not when I say not embracing, but we're at that age where we laughed at somebody in their 50s. Not laugh, but you're like, oh fuck, they're old.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday, and I really want to be on my chair flipping the channels and falling asleep. Exactly right. And here we are.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday, and the businessman slowly gets stoned. Nice.
Yeah, that's what that ran through my head. Boom, right in there.
Leon, no, for myself, I only ask that if these people are going to create art, it should have more meaning than functional technicality. It should have some emotional attachment for me if I'm going to appreciate this as art. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, well, you can't control that though. The audience, the consumer does. It's hit or miss. Look at all the. Come on, when we were, before MTV, it used to be just radio. We were exposed to music on on radio. We had to flip the dial, and
Yep.
that was the first time we heard certain songs, genres, and there was a lot of junk. I mean, and there was a lot of payola.
Yep.
There was a lot of stuff that got played. Well, let's be honest, most of the stuff got on there because there were salesmen pushing and paying and slipping cash. That's the way the business worked. But there's a lot of junk.
You can
not
play
everything
that song,
gained
but
traction, but
you
there
might
was a
want
lot
to play
of
4
junk.
seasons before your legs get broke.
That too. That too.
Mm-hmm.
But we tend to take our media habits with us to the grave or to the nursing home before the grave, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I find it interesting to watch the record, the vinyl record interest has arisen again.
Yeah.
And I was seeing there's stores now that there was one that was that a friend of mine posted on Facebook, a big record store somewhere in Washington State, and they're all going there and looking through the racks. And I thought to myself,
I bet it makes a bundle.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, that's nice, but I mean, I certainly would have no interest in doing that. I like my stuff on digital, and I can just flip through and make playlists. I enjoy it, but that's just me. I'm a nerd. But
I think a lot of the stuff now is like so overproduced. There's no mistakes and
no argument there.
Yeah, the mistake is what made, like Black Dog. We'll never have that again because someone spilled coffee on the tape.
Or got the dog neutered.
Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why I asked. Are we holding on to our generational court luck?
Sure.
Like,
I think you're right, Leon. Yeah, we do. Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think, I say that because, again, not only my daughter, but in being in the at the table as a school board member, I've made this comment so many times, and I kind of get looked at like I'm the idiot. Two things: are we talking to students, kids, the way you want to be talked to, or is this hierarchy again? Oh, I'm this older guy, and you're a kid, and you don't know shit, and you better not disrespect me. I can be an asshole all I want to you, but don't disrespect me. And I think that's something that is still kind of predominantly a norm, if you will. I think it's getting away from what we're saying. And again, a great example is the whole Billie Eilish thing, which I don't get either, but it's just almost this independency at a very young age where you're kind of questioning maybe authority. And you're questioning that authority again as to, well, if you're treating me like this and you're telling me this, but you're not doing that, where's the line of hypocrisy?
Right.
And I made this comment in several speeches, and again, this is where I get Libby looked at like I'm an idiot, which is talking to high school kids. And I said, it's interesting because I'm up here, I'm supposed to talk to you, and I'm gonna, I guess, tell you to say your prayers and eat your vitamins and do good things in your life. And I said, yeah, I mean, I think that's a given. I think you guys are smart enough to know that. But I said, I was going to say, eat your Wheaties.
You can't have any pudding if you don't eat the meat.
Exactly right. But that's how it feels. And so I said, you know what? Hey, I'm going to let you guys know something. I said, adults, they don't know a lot. We're faking it, just like you guys trying to wake up. I'm just trying to fake it to get up off the stage in the next 2 minutes without looking like a dork. And what made the crowd kind of go like, and that's where even my colleagues were like, looking at me like, yeah, how can you eat your pudding if, the strict kind of beaten down? And I'm going, no, bullshit. I'm supposed to sit here and lie to you or pretend I'm some kind of pious person because I have this title and stature? No, I'm faking it just like you guys are. Now, I'm hoping that at some point we can reach some sort of positive impasse or understanding that if we work together, we're probably going to do pretty good and we can be consistent about that. But again, it's one of those things where, like my daughter, oh my God, that song sucks. And it might be her favorite Nirvana song, but for me, it was the worst Nirvana song ever. And I'm almost extinguishing her passion because of my angst or me going, oh, well, I was already there. And yeah, it wasn't that cool. Well, I don't want to extinguish that passion. So whether I get Billie Eilish or whether I have to spend $80 on some sweater from this TikTok guy, I'm going to smile and go, well, shit. I guess it means someone's going to vacuum the house for the next month to pay off that $84 sweater. So it's a bit of a win-win in my book too. So
well, it's a good thing you like vacuuming, Leon.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Damn dog. Oh, that's a story. I don't know if you guys want to hear that story, but I was set off today, man.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, so I like to vacuum. The older you get, you just find these chores where you're okay. The dishes aren't cleaned well, so I got to go in there and do them. So my old vacuum died, and so I spend $500 on this new vacuum, and it's about 2 weeks old. So today I'm starting to vacuum and BSing with the guys, and all of a sudden I see this little speck, and my mind says stop. My body says what? And it just goes right over dog crap.
Oh.
And I'm like,
oh no.
I'm sitting there cussing, and then I got the kids. I'm screaming at the kids. Well, it was so close to having to take the damn thing apart, and so now I'm ready to kill the dog, but then I'm like, well,
so
really,
how
you're
long
gonna
did
kill
it
the
stop?
fucking dog?
How long did it take you to stop? Did you go?
Well, no. Well, here's the thing. There it is. There's the stop sign.
How many times did you go back and forth?
No, here's the thing. I caught myself.
Damn spot.
But you see the stop sign, okay, in your car.
Shakespeare.
You're going, and you're telling yourself, well, stop. So pretend it's winter, and you hit ice. So you don't factor in the ice.
Right.
So you still go. And that's what my body did. And so it went over, and I pulled it back, of course, because that's the reaction. So twice, and it was enough to hear, and you're like, and then that smell, and I was like, fuck. I'm sitting there trying to cuss, not cuss, and so I said to guys, I said, my own personal hell is, it's not a Hellcat Dodge in the driveway, it's not a 4x4, it's the nice vacuum. And it literally went to shit. It literally went to shit from this little dog who's old, has issues. I love her to death, but I was like, well, I guess this is what happens when what's like. But yeah, I was set off, man, and I was
Leon was like picturing this last scene from Old Yeller.
Shoot. Squeeze.
Interesting. My friend Sharon Mayberry's uncle wrote Old Yeller.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Poor dog. No,
he hated fucking dogs.
If I see another,
I'd like to see a remake with Cat. I don't like cats. Old Yeller the cat,
Yeah,
take the thing
right.
out.
Old Yeller.
Or Old Yeller, part two, where he comes back,
feature.
rabid as hell, but he's like the Terminator from another world.
Yeah.
On two legs, walking around, biting everybody.
Yeah. Not a cat fan.
George is coming out of the shower.
He's doing set changes. He changed, I think, 3 times. Is that a different shirt?
So
Man,
George, you're an Art Institute guy too?
He is.
Because you look familiar.
Yeah,
I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
I was in audio video, same as these two guys here.
You look familiar.
Well, Vince and Jay.
Yeah?
Leon, I'm not sure what you were there for. Were you there for?
We don't know either.
Were you condemned to go
I
there?
was there on the student. I was there on the student exchange program coming from New Mexico. Oh, yeah, that's right. I had to hop a plane and a bus. And
did you have to show Jay your papers?
As I came back from Cuba in my raft, I was able to make it. I love America. No, I did the music program as well, and I also stayed for the for the business management and marketing program, which I think I was the only one of, well, at least in my group, which was kind of bad. Kind of hoping
you're the only one. Because that's when they first started offering the bachelor. Stuff was our quarter. That our class would be the first two.
Yeah, and I should have a little bit. I'm not very smart, so I should have stayed and went into the master's program with. Is it Florida Atlantic that would have accepted us?
I don't remember. We had consortium agreements too with some schools, but yeah.
And I'll tell my big Steve story too. Again, aside from earlier, it was between him and Ed because I was doing all the going down in the studio stuff where they said, "Well, stick around." So I was doing the intern program, the honors intern program for all the recording students, and so I got to stay around, which is really, really cool. And at some point, they were hiring at the facility at the Art Institute, and I think they were doing student workers. And my name came up, and I thought, cool. And I couldn't get paid, which was fine. And what I did negotiate very well was I wanted a parking pass. You know how you could park. Faculty could park above where the Olive Garden was on that satellite building we had.
Right. Yeah.
Instead, we could also park way along the way where what was the Pink Pussycat used to be. You had to park on that little side street and then walk.
The Pink.
So I wasn't a very good negotiator. I just loved what I was doing, and so I took the
walk. I did a striptease at that place one time.
Did you?
Oh, we got to hear that story. Right. That's next. Put that in the lineup, Vince.
Okay.
Put that in the lineup.
I don't know. I kind of want to yield right now to hear that story.
No. Finish your story. Come on.
Well, anyway, so I started, and then we were doing the accreditation committee. And again, my name got put up, and I thought, well, shit, I'm not doing this. I don't even know what it is. And so went to the first meeting, and the story goes, I was the guy who was supposed to take meeting minutes. Well, when I had no fucking clue what meeting minutes were. Somebody just said minutes.
I love the story.
So I'm like, okay, we're sitting there, and I'm listening to this great conversation. I'm trying to learn. I'm like, what the fuck what am I doing here? And so we adjourn, and I'm like, oh, cool. Call another meeting. Come to the second meeting. Everybody's in the room, in the conference room, and I can't remember if it was at the very top floor, but it was a larger conference room. I get there, I sit down, and I think it was John Moran who was, I don't know if he was a chair, maybe committee chair, but he goes, all right, Leon, you got those meeting minutes? And I'm like, what? He said, the minutes of the meeting from last week. I'm like, no. Like, what the fuck are meeting minutes? I had to ask. I'm like, what are meeting minutes? Well, you take a record of the meeting. I'm like, oh, no, I don't have them. But I was so beat up and deflated. I thought, what the fuck? And I think we had a couple more
the only function I was brought on to do.
It was like, I know you hired me to do this one job. No, I didn't bring a shovel. I'm supposed to dig a hole? What? No. So anyway, that's my story. I laugh every time I'm at some table because when someone says, "Can you read back the minutes?" I just have to laugh. But that was the exposure that got me started at and confidently started in knowing at some point I was going to be at the table for a lot of discussions and a lot of things. And so yeah, man, that's why I say kudos again to Steve, and it's just really cool to have that level of exposure. But I just, I was always wishing that we had somebody at least stay into the program, because I don't know if I was the only one, Steve, out of our group, but I know we had some merges with other institutes. I know Denver, because I had some really good friends from the Art Institute of Denver who took the program in Florida, and it was a really great program. And it was a quick program, but it was really cool. And I should have stayed and try to aspire into more higher education, but I didn't. I ended up leaving and going to El Paso and working in a strip bar as a DJ. So
Right
A
on.
lot of good that.
Well, it makes sense.
Well, it does.
Yeah.
And for the first month, it was cool.
It's kind of my dream job.
Transition.
Well, let me tell you, before I transitioned, I
right.
thought it was a dream job, and I'll share that experience. But that, as I segue into the Pink Pussycat story now, take it away, George.
Go ahead, George. Pink Pussycat.
Oh no, I was just looking for my T-shirt back there. I've still got a T-shirt they gave you for stripping. But I thought it was back there.
About you.
It must be back in the shed or something.
So tell the story about stripping at the Pink Pussycat.
What?
Come on.
Oh God! All right. Not much to tell, really. So my roommate was had come out the army, and he was quite a bit more worldly than I was at the time. I was pretty naive, fresh out of high school, from Crossville, Tennessee, going straight to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And he said, "I'm taking you out for your birthday," and 18th, I think. Anyway, so here we go to the Pink Pussycat, and I'm like, "Wow, this is a strip club." And he said, "Yeah, come on in." So we go in, and I'd never seen no shit like this before. I'm like, "Them women's just naked," and he said, it was kind of bad at first, but then I got a couple of beers in me. They didn't ask for an ID; they just sort of gave them to me. I don't know if they were having pity on me or if I don't know. But I had a couple of beers, and all of a sudden I told him, no, if I'm going to go with you, there's one condition. You can't tell them it's my birthday. I don't want all that bullshit. He said, I won't tell them. Well, about 3 beers into this thing, he disappears, and all of a sudden the music changes, and I hear this, don't. I hear it's a birthday day for a fella named George. Where you at, George? And I'm like, and all these naked women start coming over here, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, "George, we're going to give you a T-shirt with our Pink Pussycat logo right on the front of it, but we have to watch you change into it." And I'm like, all right. I kind of surprised myself right there. That's not the answer I expected me to give, but that's kind of what happened. I'm like all these naked women around, they want to watch me change shirts. I'm like, all right. Well, I hop up on the table right there, and I go to doing this thing, and off goes the shirt, and the naked girls are going, woo, 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 and I'm like, all right. So the pants start coming down, and my roommate is gone.
All right, so how did you get home that night?
Oh, he didn't leave me. He just went away until I was done.
I see. He didn't want to see that.
Jason always reminds me that I brought him to a lingerie show.
Oh yeah.
Well, it turns out I was driving.
It was lunch. Yeah, that lingerie show. I'm like, dude,
he really
lunch.
couldn't leave me because I kind of had the keys in my pocket. So
nice. He was stuck.
So I had a lot of fun, and I got tipped $2.
Well, I think because it's V's birthday, you should do that dance again.
Yeah.
Stuff the $2 in your.
I worked at the Pink Pussycat for like 2 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I had one girl stuff $1 in my shorts, and one girl had $1 between her teeth. And I didn't know what she wanted. I wasn't a stripper, so I didn't know.
And George is like, "Damn, she's got a full set of teeth."
Wobbly.
We don't
have those
like that in the mountains. So I started to get the $1, and she said, I started to get
every time.
I was supposed to get the $1 with my teeth, and then she kissed me right here. So
nice.
I don't know. I was learning stripper tricks. I mean,
but, I'm sorry, but every time George said naked, I just the streaker song pops into my head.
Ray Stevens, right?
Yeah, exactly. Naked
it
as a
too late.
jaybird. There she
Where's
goes.
that?
There she goes. Ethel. There he goes, Ethel. Just pops in there.
It is too late.
Goodness. There's a perfect example. Look at that song. Massive hit. And
Yep.
you
Ray
never
Stevens
know.
had several big hits.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, but that one put him on the
It's
put him on the map.
Mm-hmm.
The
Ben's Jaybird.
Convention. That was a
What's
big
that?
hit.
Didn't
The
Ray
Shriners
Stevens have like a
Convention, that
weird
was a
song
big
like
hit.
I hate liver? I hate liver. Liver makes me shiver. Live, 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 live. No?
Remember that one.
Don't
But I
know
remember
that.
the streaker.
Yeah. Oh, the streaker. Yeah, I remember that one. And that they call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there was the Shriners Convention. That was a big song.
Oh yeah.
And having been a Shriner, that's a fact. Those guys party, man.
Oh yeah.
They are wide open.
And then what was the Mississippi Squirrel Revival or something like that?
Well, the squirrel in church.
Yeah.
The day the squirrel went to church.
Yeah,
In
went-
the Front Baptist Church.
Yeah, went berserk in the first self-righteous church.
There you
Is this
go.
the re-
In that sleepy little town of Pascagoula.
Turns out you
See?
know it better than I do.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Look at that.
See, I give Jay a lot of hard
I
time
got
about
this
being a
stupid-
Yankee, but he's really he's more country than I am.
I'm like a porn site spamming us right now. Loveface XYZ.
I
on
saw
my
that.
trips
Oh,
without-
that was me. Sorry, guys. I'm doing double duty here.
Yeah.
Calm it down, Leon. We're
That's
trying.
Leon's favorite
I
list.
got a
popping up.
I got a crotch cam on my other computer, so I'm telling you, I have to make money in any way, shape, or form I can.
Uh-huh.
Naked
In fact-
as a jaybird.
If I send you guys a link, I was hacked. Okay, so
Right.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Hey, so being an IT guy, let me show you. Let me throw some fun at you right here. Putin says that if we mess with him, that there's going to be serious and political consequences. And everybody's like, yeah, he ain't got nothing. I wonder if you know, it's only a couple of years ago, the White House mind you, stopped using the Kaspersky antivirus. Now, I don't know if you're aware of what that is. It's a pretty popular antivirus. Kaspersky's his name. But it's from a Russian fella. Guess what? The Russian mafia. So if you install this antivirus, yes, it will block any virus on the internet except them.
Right.
And the White House has been using this until 2 years ago. I
Oh,
bet
wow.
Putin has been watching the internal communications of the White House for years.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And I'm like, any of us geeks in the world out there know you don't use Kaspersky. It's Russian mafia. All of us know that.
Remember, it
But
doesn't
the White
matter
House
what
was
you
using
know
it.
and your education and your knowledge. It's what you read in one article. So,
Do what now? Run that by me again. I'm reading the article again.
hey, sure, you may have spent 12 years studying it, done, gone to 17 different schools, but the cashier at Target says you're full of shit. And she knows.
Right. Right.
That's so weird how it's like the whole thing's turned into that,
Yeah.
Like my dad was that kind of guy. Hey, Dad, the sky's blue? No, it's not. What do you mean it's not blue? Oh, the guy I just met for 3 seconds told me it's purple. It's fucking purple. Yeah, the sky's blue. No, it's purple. You know what I mean? There's some, I don't know. I
We
understand
live in
like
a-
weird.
cognitive dissonance has been a term that's been around for eons, and it's something that, like everything else, is garnering more. I don't know if understanding, but it's definitely garnering more support as to a go-to of what society has become. And again, without going too deep, it's so interesting that, and again, when I sit at the table, you have people who swore an oath of office to protect whatever the laws, to uphold and Constitution, bylaws, everything else, who will tell you the same thing. It's not blue. Sky's not blue.
Right.
And you go, well, I'm looking outside. It's blue. No, it's not blue. It's not. It's this. It's that. And I guess at what point is it who screams the loudest? Then that's the color of the sky, because because at some point we all have to concede some sort of, we'll be arguing all day like two bulls bumping heads. So is that what we're doing as a society?
I think that's what is wanted. Because
a distraction. Yeah, well, which is a great point. Is it a distraction to take your mind off for again? Sky's blue, Earth is flat.
So, what's the underlying problem? If we were all convinced of our own perception of what we see when we look up, there wouldn't be any question. There wouldn't be any argument. What brings that into question is the media. They tell us that our perception is incorrect. Our perception should be what they tell us it is. That's your problem.
A lot of that starts with marketing and advertising. I mean, let's be honest. We're all products. This is a consumer society, big time.
Yeah.
And everything is foisted from early on with marketing and advertising. And the funny thing about advertising is we watch it, and we have to understand we have to suspend our analysis, because advertising, we all understand it's like, wait, it's not real. I get it. It's kind of fun. Let's watch it. And but then it spills into other stuff. We get advertising for politics. We get advertising for services and for pharmaceutical drugs. All these things. But how do we delineate when it's wink wink advertising,
right,
and it's advertising by its nature is not real,
right?
It kind of muddies the water quite a bit, and it
that's why
everything.
Jason drinks Busch Light, because he thinks a football and 3 hot blondes are going to come out of his television and like
there you go,
and like hey, ready to barbecue, Jay?
Hamburgers sold. Half-naked women writhing, selling hamburgers. It's like, really?
Yeah.
I'm hoping
you want the burger.
Good, so I'm going to drink me some Busch Light.
Well, after a 12-pack, don't they? They do appear, right?
Oh yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. I need to drink Busch Light.
Yeah, advertising, and it's funny that people don't see Facebook as an advertising vehicle. Like, it's not a thing that has advertising on it. The whole thing is designed around it. You're the product.
Right?
You are the product.
Correct.
Well, you are. And the funny thing is again, it changes so quickly because, again, Facebook, it seemed to be this, whatever the platform was, how we use it as consumers, birthday parties, and look at what I cooked today, and look at the beautiful sky. Then it went to me in the picture.
Beautiful grandkids.
Well, yeah, look at all this beautiful stuff. And then it went into, oh my God, bad news today. So all of a sudden, what kind of trips me out, and again, just my warped mind and very ignorant mind is, rest in peace, so-and-so. So we're paying some homage, and we're all sad, and you get 5 likes, and you kind of go, "Fuck! I only got 5 likes. I wanted 10 likes." Or we joke so much, and I tell the story because it's funny to me. What's serious and what isn't, because we're not that black and white. I think in some regard with Facebook. So it'll be something that looks like, because we all joke. And Jason's probably more guilty of it than I am, but with his warped mind and instigator comments that pulled me in like an idiot, and I fell for it.
My name's Jason. Let me eat my foot.
Well, no, we both commented on what we thought was funny.
Like, Jason,
and I was cracking up at you too. You were
I laughed at that because I was like, I thought, but that's how we are. Even if it is. Even if it is a saddening thing, there's still a little bit of humor in that. And I think, there's some beauty in that. But, it's not everybody, but it's this tight-knit circle.
Yeah.
And so it was almost offensive. And then I kind of got offended, but more so like, oh, shit, well, I guess I guess I got to tread a little bit more carefully on things because I want to joke. I want, if somebody posts something, I can laugh at myself all day long.
Right.
Doesn't mean everybody else has to do it. It just
this really bugged Leon because he's brought this up like 3
Dude, it did. It just, I don't. So I, well, it changed. It changed. I think it changed how I interact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
At least you learned your lesson because I'm still sticking my foot in my lesson.
No, and I want to because there's some funny shit that want to say something, and I kind of take the only time I'll comment on something is just when we're in the messenger group and it's private and it's just us, and
I'll tell you
all day long.
I'll tell you this though, I did.
Sometimes people have a bad day, and that just chalk it up to that.
No, and I get that. I do. I don't like to. I don't like to have a sermon when somebody has a bad day. I think that's what I maybe got offended by.
You would be proud of me.
I've got a great idea for a tattoo for my girlfriend's ass. Off.
No regrets.
Anyway,
Eat a Jones.
I did stop myself tonight though. There was
fuck off all my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait, Jesus got a point. Wait.
That's it. Just off.
I noticed some
right over everybody.
Yeah, it took a while.
Yeah,
that took a while. Then it was a joke with the parachute. It didn't land. It just slowly came down.
Where it landed.
I'm trying to read Jason's mouth. He had me at some because we're relatable on this topic.
Well, I was just gonna say that tonight I was like cruising on Facebook earlier today, and I saw that. It was a couple of ladies were making a statement about men, and it was like blah blah blah. Thanks a lot. They tell you you're beautiful, and then they waste 2 months of your life. And they were all kind of getting together like, yeah, go girl. And I start typing because the first thing that popped in my head was like, well, look on the bright side. It could have been 2 years instead of 2 months that they wasted of your life, and then
and that's my point. I mean,
you walked right into that minefield there, dude.
I started to. I was about to hit send, and then I just went XXXXX. I just took it off.
You know how many times I've deleted and backspaced?
You know what I love
just
about
something
him,
I wanted to
Steve?
say. Thousands.
He does it on purpose.
Yeah, I don't do that. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, not too much though.
I've found myself really. And again, I'm not blaming it.
Yeah.
I want to be respectful. I do. But I also, I guess at what point do we have the red light and the green light maybe?
Right.
So if I post something, okay, green light. Oh, okay. Hey, blah, 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 blah. Red light, serious. Don't say nothing. Offer condolences or offer, hey, prayers and hugs and vibes, which is cool, but I guess for me too is social media losing the influence of sentiment. I'm not going to pick up the phone. I'm not going to pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, sorry." Go on and you read it and go, "Oh well, hey, hugs, prayers, go fuck yourself." I never liked the guy anyway. I mean, not far fetched, but
right.
Have we kind of put this facade up a little bit again with social media and again the whole Billie Eilish thing, which I give some credit there because this generation kind of just doesn't care because that's what they know.
Right.
We have some kind of filter, not all of us, but
right. Well,
there's a filter there.
Yeah.
Right.
Like after my brother died, I knew okay, I'm gonna not say certain things past whatever this line is because it may came off wrong or I could be having a really bad day.
And that's allowable.
That's all. It's learned though. It's transformed over time. Facebook is very different from when it was like when it first launched.
Yeah.
And it's transformed, but it's also turned into a narrow market because it was I think media kind of goes through these stages. It was a broad market at first. And, everybody jumped on and was like, wow, it's a new tool. But now it's a very narrow target market. You can tell. Yeah. And the younger generations, they're not on there for the most part, with some exception. Like all my kids, they don't hang out on Facebook. It's for old people.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because when I got first started on it, I felt like, oh, this is I'm on here. I'm an older guy, and there's newer generation, but
Right.
not anymore.
And now,
Yeah.
I mean, people are in this position where they're scared to even talk because am I going to lose my job?
Yeah.
Am I going to lose friends? Am I not going to be able to
Yeah.
get in the club or the gym or the blah, blah, blah. And then like 6 months ago, I just said, you know what? Fuck those people. I'm not going to. I'm not
they're
gonna
off on
censor
other
myself.
platforms, and there's
I'm
more
not gonna
popping
censor
up all the time. It's becoming it's like when cable TV rolled out. You know, there was 12 channels at first, then 30, then 50, then 150,
Then there were commercials.
So
200, and then the web showed up, and
you know
now
what
it's
the
unlimited.
easiest thing in our culture is to do right now? To not consume something. If you don't like me, shut up.
Yeah.
Don't watch me, because in order for you to be upset with me, you're going to have to click 2 or 3 times to get pissed off and then go and do your thing.
Well, that's a new experience for our generation and maybe 2 back, because we were given channels, and very few at first,
3,
and then a few more.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like I can go anywhere I want,
right?
And the competition now for social media is really expanding rapidly.
And here's the thing: why are people so concerned about content they don't watch or listen to or consume on any level?
Right.
Well, I think that's that's our generation. You know why? Because we still have in our heads the experience of a small choice and a limited universe for media. The kids, because I got an 11-year-old, and through 24, and I've seen even between those two, the generational change from the media habits they sink their teeth into from the beginning. They think very differently. Us, it's like I think we lend a lot more importance to it, because it was more, the media was more prominent for us at that age, where if something showed up on the news, it was like, oh, it's got to be important.
Yeah.
There were only 3 news channels to choose from.
Right.
There was
2 or 3 newspapers.
There was a tangibleness to that, and we could somehow relate. And I'll tell you this, that it's such a weird lesson to understand. So as a local politician, I was off the platform for a few reasons. One, whatever I said was going to be spun, and then to retort, you're an asshole. So either way, you're an asshole. Right. So I stayed off on it. So for me, even though I wanted to share information, and I did, in my mind, it was like, well, I'm setting myself up, and I'm setting other things up for failure, because no one's going to really look at it in a way that, oh shit, that's pretty good information. No, it's okay. You're trying to do this, you're trying to do that. And so because of my generational understanding, and not accepting us to be like to be like a take it or leave it kind of thing, I was like, out of sight, out of mind, means that I don't have to worry about it if I don't talk about it. But that was also the disservice that I had to make that choice, that conscious choice of going, well, I'm not going to share that, and so I'm just going to kind of wish happy birthday to so and so, and it just became so watered down that I think now that I get to laugh and make a joke at somebody, or add to the joke, for me it's kind of almost a release. Right. So that's how I see it. But it's a different world, and there's some beauty into it. But I think it's also one of those things where, how do you pick and choose? How do you read the room? Because can you read the room in a post, especially if somebody's joking, and especially if somebody's being serious? And
right. So, well, that's why it took so long to get you on Saturday nights, because I knew what you were doing. I'm like, dude, I don't want to get you in trouble for something that I say.
Oh yeah, no. And I think that's a great point, because I did.
You know what I'm saying?
I did hold back a little bit for that thing. But somebody,
it's weird that
surfing the internet, and then they go, "Oh, well, Leon, doesn't like gay people now because he said that." I'm like, "Well, when did I say that?" And so it's just
that's not what you said,
thing.
Right?
Exactly.
But it's weird that we have to think that way, because that's not the way we grew up.
Exactly
thinking.
Right.
Like you had the ability to speak freely. You know what I mean?
If men
Well,
landed on the moon, they landed on the moon.
To a point, yeah.
Well, we didn't grow up with these platforms where we could sit in our living room and have a conversation that essentially the world could tune into. That would have been science fiction.
Yeah.
But but that's one of the delineators. It's the amount of content, because this is still to me it's a marvel, but I still have in my mind that if I see it on TV, or I'm watching it or something on a screen, that it must be important, or all these other people are tuning in or can see it, and there's so much content anymore. It's just not the case. We're awash, and I think the prominence that we place on it is absent from the the newer generations coming up. It's like, oh yeah, I saw it out there, I don't care. I mean, there's a million things out there. It's like Instagram. That's where a lot of the young kids are, and the name is perfect because it's instant, and it's everywhere and nowhere. I mean, nobody cares. Post it, done. Post it, done. There's no, the value is not the same. I think it's more valuable to us.
I watched, I think it was on Showtime, but it was a docuseries about Page Six, and how in the 80s Page Six became, this rumor mill kind of thing, and then what really changed that was I can't remember the guy's name that got online and started doing all these Dredge. Does that sound familiar? Drudge Report.
Yeah.
And it just and now you kind of laugh at it a little bit, or you laughed at it back then, but now it's so rampant. And again, you look at I'll look at Tinder for the news, and it's the same kind of headline, tagline, but it's different for each agency. And in some of it, it's just, it's hard to kind of believe, I guess now. And I think that goes back to a comment that was made earlier about media. Where's the responsibility, or is there responsibility, and we're just perceiving it differently based on how our mind works?
I think we because of our generation, we lend a lot more value to it than the generations that grew up with this. It's just it's like more of a utility to them. It's like a comic book. I mean, not even that. I mean, it's just not as important. They don't lend as much value to it.
It's funny, and I don't know if you go through this with your young one, Steve, but my daughter is we'll have a conversation, and she'll say stuff like, "Oh God, I'm gonna go in my room and I'm gonna off myself."
Yeah.
It's not literal anymore, in a way that, when you hear somebody say that, you're like, oh my God, the flags, and I got to take away the knives and any sharp object.
Right.
It's how they talk, and how they talk is like just so different that when they say something, I have to kind of I have to make it pass through several things before I can actually really be cognizant of what it means.
Right.
And
well, the word
literal.
The words change, the meanings change, they expand, they contract. With each generation, it's no different than language differences. I go through that all the time with my 11-year-old. The big one is this. Here's a big one with her. She's in 6th grade. She talks about her boyfriend and who's dating who, and I think to myself, dating, back when we're talking about a long time ago, we used to call it going steady, but not dating. But that's a perfect example. The words change, the context changes, the meaning changes, and you have to adjust to it. But much of that, frankly, it happens faster too, because there's so much lateral communication among people. Here's another big difference that you've probably seen. Heck, when I went to school, school was over, you went home, 3:30, and you may have gotten on the phone and talked to your friends. you couldn't talk to more than one at the same time.
Yeah.
And then your parents were like, "Get the hell off the phone! How long you been on there? I'm waiting for a call." One phone line. Now they're talking to 3, 4, 6 kids at the same time.
Yeah.
They can be on all the time. They're playing games together.
Yeah.
There's way more interaction outside of school. So that's a whole different ball game. And, they could essentially stay connected all night long, and you don't have to worry about getting off the phone. Now, I don't like her being on there that much, but that creates this greater entanglement with the kids away from the schoolhouse. They seem to be closer because the communication goes on longer. It's interesting to watch.
Yeah.
What are you
really
doing,
is.
George? Are you watching a movie? What the heck are you doing?
Click.
Well,
Chat going back and
see, I have.
Are you at home, Master?
I think a lot, and sometimes I hear things that people don't say.
What happened?
I said I think a lot. I think too much. No, nobody's guilty here but me.
Nice. Mm-hmm. All right, so okay. There's a message here from Man in the Boat.
Uh-oh.
Hey there, it's the captain, Man in the Boat, leaving a message to wish the best birthday ever. I have 2 birthday promises for you. Number 1, I will try being the key word there, not to refer to Maker's Mark as Marky Mark anymore. 2, you are the recipient of a lifetime promise. You have changed my course, literally, figuratively, and I am just so thankful. And I adore you so much.
Wow.
Okay, I'm getting sloppy. Oh, sappy and sloppy. And let's face it, nobody likes a sloppy man in the boat, Anyway, that said, let's really crack in. Creativity talking. Raise your glasses. Here is to the best first mate a captain could ever ask for. Cheers.
Nice.
Cheers.
Drink up, everyone.
I don't know if
Well,
I
we
missed
missed
about half
we missed
of it.
part of it. Her second. She
Yeah.
had 2 things. We got disappeared. The second part.
I heard Maker's Mark, and then it went silent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And
Very
then,
good.
other than raise
Yeah,
your
dropped
glasses.
out.
All right. Hold on a second.
Hey there, it's
Hold on.
the captain.
I don't know if I can fast forward it.
Leaving a message to wish
I can't fast forward it.
the best.
I'll go ahead, talk amongst yourselves, and I'll monitor the.
Well, you can summarize it for us.
Yeah, so
Summarize.
I did raise my hand for a sloppy man in the boat that I had no problem. So,
Right.
that's it.
Well, yeah. Anyway,
So I heard that.
It was nice.
can't really summarize it. You know what I mean?
All right.
Oh,
So, as for you guys' conversation earlier,
What's
I
that?
have a little bit different perspective on that. If I might say, perhaps the problem is not how much we interpret someone else's actions. Maybe it's how secure we are in our own identity. I think that's where a lot of our society has gone astray. We rely on someone else's approval to be happy with ourselves. And I think that is a problem. I think if we could find a way to be happy with ourselves outside of what someone else thinks, it would change everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think one of the downsides to the constant connection with kids at such a young age, at a young age, they're trying to figure out who they are, but when they're connected so long and way more than I was with social media. You leave school and they're still communicating. You need contact.
But they don't talk, Steve. Have you noticed that? They don't talk amongst one another when they're together. They could be sitting this far away and they're texting.
Yeah, well, it can also be used as a barrier too, but maybe it's too much time with that circle of people your same age and experience level. Too much time. I mean, everything's a balance in life, and you get feedback from people that are a little bit of experience ahead of you, and too much in that circle. It's a reflection of what's going on. 11 and 12-year-olds. I tell my daughter this all the time. I say, listen, what you're going through is hardly different than what I went through at that age. The struggles are very similar and the transition's very similar. But when you get too much time with your little circle, you don't get the feedback
your brain's not working on its own.
Well, no, but it's also not getting feedback from people that have been through it, more experience.
Yeah.
Too much time. Get out of your group. It's true of anything. If you become too cloistered when you surround yourself with people that are just like you, or we're all the same. That's not good. That diversity and experience is also important.
See, that's one of the reasons I'm such good friends with Jason. Is I think I should not exclude the Neanderthals from my circle of friends.
Right, exactly. We got a Neanderthal on the fucking thing. We got a redneck.
See,
absolutely.
There's some diversity right there.
You are the diversity hire, George.
I'm the token redneck.
No, you're our token stripper.
That's right.
A stripper redneck.
Damn you!
A redneck stripper.
Well,
And you got paid. That makes you a pro too.
So,
right.
So I need to strip. Somebody needs a banjo if I'm going to strip. Somebody needs to be playing a banjo. Come on.
I don't have a banjo.
I don't know.
I got a ukulele.
That'll work.
Sorry. Well, no. No, I'm a true hillbilly. Ukulele won't do that.
You got a birthday hat.
No, won't work.
Where are you from, George?
I'm originally from
Zanzibar.
From where?
Crossville, Tennessee, and I live in Dayton now. I've been all over. I'm a veteran.
Yep.
I've lived in Germany for 2 years.
Okay.
Lived in Florida for a while when I went to school there. So I've been all over, but I'm from East Tennessee.
Who was the friend that you went to the Pink Pussycat with? Was that also an Art Institute student?
He was going for something different. His name was David Cannon. He was my roommate.
Yeah. Okay.
The graphic design.
Y'all don't know him, I don't think.
Oh, really? Yeah. Does it ring a bell?
No.
Cool.
But he was using his servicemen's college fund to go. To
Veep. Was it Veep?
I guess.
Veterans Education Assistance Program. Yeah.
He come out of the Army and was going to the school there.
Yeah, that's how James in our class went to the Art Institute. He was an older guy, ex-Army. He was like 30.
But then see, later on, I went in the Army for a couple of years, for 4 years, and lived in Germany for 2.5.
After the Art Institute?
After the Art Institute, yes.
Oh, wow, cool.
Drove a tank. That was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah. It was a fish tank, so it looked kind of
But it had a jet engine. So that was pretty cool.
Come on now, flush.
And you knew it was George's tank because he had
Double
a coon
flush.
tail hanging off the back of it.
Yeah.
Always flush twice, people.
Yeah, I covered the front slope with skunk furs.
Yeah, that's right.
That kept everybody away.
Wait, you
They
talking
wouldn't
about
know
Jason's
what
forehead?
Huh?
The front
You talking about
slope.
Jason's forehead? You said the front slope.
Yeah, the front slope of the tank.
Oh.
He had a bumper sticker that said Beaver Trapper on it.
Was that on the Jeep?
Not his tank in the
tank.
Army.
My other car is a Dodge.
Yeah.
Where's George working on his Jeep? Hey, where's George working on his Jeep?
My other car's an M1.
Right.
How many times? That goddamn Jeep, Jay, I tell you what.
Old Gruff.
Uh-huh.
Well, that was the fine old Jeep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I forgot about him.
Yeah, we pulled the transmission in the dorm parking lot.
I remember that. Yeah. And that son of a bitch from Knoxville never showed up to help me with the clutch.
That's right.
That's
Oh,
right.
we'll be here in a
That's
minute.
what happened.
Yep.
6 weeks later.
Jason helped me though. He was there when he said he would be. That's right.
You were living in the dorm?
Yeah. State Road
Where
84.
was the dorm at that time? I'm trying to remember.
It was State Road 84.
Yeah. Right next to the banana boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right across the street.
Across the road
Okay.
from the Hilton.
Mm-hmm. Banana Boat was
that.
like a bar, and they had a tiki
Yeah.
bar out back, and they had live music and stuff. And me and Rob always joke it was a an 8-minute walk there and a 15-minute walk back.
Right.
Staggering.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right by the bridge.
Yeah.
The bridge.
Yeah, I remember that. Heard lots of stories too.
Right by
Oh,
the
yeah.
Wendy's.
Go over the
Wendy's.
bridge. Just when it turns shitty, you will find
Let's see.
That's right.
What is the Monty Python going to say? Answer me these questions 3. Ere the other side you'll see.
Nice. Yeah, I got jumped by 7 dudes at that fucking Winn-Dixie.
7-Eleven? Oh, the Winn-Dixie?
Winn-Dixie, yeah.
Were you able to
Really?
satisfy all of them? I mean,
What's that?
Jason got it.
I didn't hear you. I'm old.
He said, were you able to satisfy all 7 of them?
Of course. Uh-huh.
I don't know. It kind of fell out of my face. What?
Yeah. No, yeah.
There may be more to the
I got
stripper
some
story
people-
that he's not sharing.
Yeah, 2 broken ribs, broken nose.
Right.
Jeez.
But I took the biggest dude down. But yeah, no, I was doing my laundry, and you know how everything was open front.
I remember you telling me that story. I ran into you. I can't remember where, but yeah, you told me that, and I thought, oh shit.
Yeah,
Not that I could do anything. I didn't want to take on 7 guys with you either, but
yeah, it was just, bizarre, And apparently it was a what do you call it? When you want to get into a gang.
Oh,
Just for the Zulus.
jumping in.
It's for the Zulus and initiation or something like that.
Initiation.
Yeah, they were going around beating up,
oh,
long-haired
I
dude.
thought they were recruiting you, and it
I was
didn't
gonna
click there
say,
for a
you
minute.
were
I
being
was like,
initiated into a gang.
you were trying to.
So I'm doing laundry. I walk out. I see a van pass by, and I look at it. I'm like, "Hey man, what's happening?" Just like I would.
If you're getting in my gang, you're doing my laundry.
And then it comes back again. And
Here,
goes,
take this basket, you bastard, and you better hurry up.
yeah. So they come back another time and they go, "Yo, what's up, headbanger?" And I said, "Hey, what's happening?" And I was walking to Walgreens. I was looking at magazines while the dryer was going. So then I walk back and I walk into the laundromat and I see this van go by 3 more times, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Oh.
So I walk out there, and they stop, and he goes, "You headbanger." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm gonna fuck you up." I go, "Yeah, go fuck yourself." Anyone who knows me, that's what would be my immediate reaction.
Brilliant response.
So the sliding door opens and 7 dudes come out.
You must be Ukrainian.
Then I'm like, "Oh yeah, come out, you motherfucker! Yeah, go fuck yourself. You want to fuck with me? Let's go."
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I was worried because I had braces for 4 years. My main concern is like if my teeth get knocked out, my mom's gonna fucking kill me.
So
Isn't that
death
weird?
at this point had nothing to do with it.
Right. But isn't that bizarre? Like the one thing you're worried about has like,
I can relate. Contact.
I'm like, okay.
Don't hit me in the face.
I had some martial arts training. I'm like, okay, at least I can block, So what happened is I get blocked into the dryer wall. I step back and I'm already there, and I'm like, oh shit, not a good position, right? So all I could do is basically, block. The first guy comes up, the big dude, neck, punch him in the neck, dropped him. And then, I'm getting beat by all the other guys. And then it was just protect. I already knew I was going to get a beating. I'm the youngest of a lot of people in my family. It's not like I haven't gotten beat before by fucking 5 guys. You know what I mean? So, and after that, boom, they hit me over the head with the metal garbage can because they still had them, and walked away.
Oh,
so
you want to hit people with garbage cans.
Right? I was like, let's go. But that's
now I got to cut you.
What you doing? Yeah. So I get up and I look at them. I'm like, why didn't you guys help? They're like, what'd you do to them? I'm like, you saw the whole thing. What do you mean, what did I do to them?
They gave you the old "you probably deserved it" routine.
Yeah. And I was like, really? Wow. But yeah. So
like,
two broken road.
Isn't that? Let's go back full circle again. Isn't that gaslighting?
Yeah. That's
right. Yeah. Wait. So Jason asked, or Steve, before he came on, Jason asked what gaslighting was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had a humorous.
I'm not smoking.
Conversation about it. I don't think we ever answered it, but it
I don't smoke.
magically
So
appeared.
You're smelling smoke.
In V's story.
Quit saying that you're smelling smoke because I don't smoke. I don't know why you think I smoke. Because I don't smoke. I'm telling you, I don't smoke. Why are you offended that you think that I smoke?
It's a filter, right?
Yeah, it's crazy, stupid. Anyway.
And your short answer is an extreme manner of denying the truth. It's sensationalism to deny what you obviously see.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird that the whole English language has turned into yellow journalism.
Well, that's being optimistic, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
At least you have a good attitude about it.
Right. Sure. Yeah, so, okay, here's one of the things that really upset me this week. And they tried selling that the word freedom was a white supremacist whistle call. And that it's racist to say freedom. This, of course, starts 3 days before what could be the start of World War III, possibly, or a new big, action in Europe, to make when are people, enough? Like, how stupid do you have to be? Oh, because there's people believing it. Oh, freedom. Oh, my God. Can you believe it? Freedom's racist. Even though they've said it their entire fucking life. If you make freedom a bad word to say, then there is no freedom of speech. There is no freedom of expression. There is nothing left.
Well, I think that's probably a goal. I mean,
it's crazy.
What you can't discuss, you don't think about. It's narrative manipulation.
And you got people calling people fascists, and they don't realize that they're the ones who are. Like, right. Do you understand what the real definition of what you're doing is? Like, who do you think you are that you can just shut up people because you don't like their opinion? You want to, crash them down because you don't like their opinion. It doesn't matter what the benefit or the cost may be. That's just ridiculous to me. And when I see other artists trying to squash what other artists are doing,
yeah, that
to me is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life as a creative person.
Here.
Well,
that is crazy.
It's happened before. I mean, you go back in history to the Hollywood, when Hollywood was going through the Red Scare.
I get the effect of what happens to, everyone's like, oh, da-da-da. No, I've seen what it does to someone over 30, 40 years, how it destroys their dream, their life, everything that they've worked. They can't do what I've seen it. It's not nice. And they just think willy-nilly, we can destroy anyone, blah, 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 because you don't agree with what I say. Who the fuck are you?
Well, there were a lot of creative types during the Red Scare in Hollywood. They were turning on each other, and it's the fear. It's the fear often drives people to do.
And it's crazy. When I got to Hollywood in 91, you could still feel it. People still talked about that.
Yeah, sure. Because the people there were still in the industry.
Yeah. So those people who are there were the young ones who came up, who are now my age. They know what happened,
Right.
and they're the ones fueling it. You know, it's crazy. And why do you think people don't want to watch the Oscars or anything? Dude, just fucking make a movie. Shut up. You know, sure, have your own opinion, but you know, dude, we just want to watch the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it's
Unless
crazy.
it's The Rock.
Yeah.
Can you smell what the Rock is cooking?
Because he's so smart and
He is
talented.
He's probably going to be president of like 5 countries. Okay, I'm going to run for president of the United States. Then I'm going to take Russia. Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I just was being a bit swarthy because that's a great point. I mean, success with a movie or whatever gives you this carte blanche to politically preach to anybody and then become the flavor of the day and the flavor of the moment. And, you know, we're flocking to something as a society. Why not flock to The Rock at this point in time and be like, hey, yeah, he makes a great point. And I really like him. And so don't criticize anything he says because he's right. Until he says something that, you know, is not the flavor of the moment. And then, then he's an asshole. So I don't know. I think we just changed too quickly again on things because, again, we're so inundated with the ability to comment and hear and absorb and, you know,
it's a lot of binary thinking. You know, it's a one or either or. You know, evil or good. You're with us or against us, and you know, very few things work that way. But that's the emotional message that's often out there. Well,
V and I had
all prey to it.
Good discussion, but he was getting ready for dinner on the View thing with not only the comparison of racism and the Holocaust, but now this latest quirk, which is I can't vacation in Italy now because of the war. And yet, you know, it's this cancel, I guess.
You can't go to Italy because of what?
Pompous ass.
I think he's talking about Joy Behar or something.
Now because there's a
war. So I can't remember the name, but what's the older one's name? Well, they're all old, but Behar. Did someone say Behar? Anyway, she made a comment, and again, I'm paraphrasing because I just reading this in some articles, but she made the comment in some seriousness that you know, the war is bad, and what's it doing to other countries, and how is it going to affect Western Europe, like Italy, where I'm supposed to vacation, but I haven't been able to vacation in 4 years because of the pandemic and now the war. So everything's an atrocity.
The war.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like, you know, you had a bit of some rumblings, and again, is this cancel culture not only selective, but you know, somebody controlling the floodgates, if you will, meaning, you know, Chappelle, floodgates are open, everybody just bombard.
Yeah, Netflix just signed them for another 4.
Well, no, exactly. So now you have The View, or A View, whatever the name of the show is. And the floodgates are somewhat limited. So you slap somebody with a 2-week suspension, they come back, and now you have this again. This.
It's weird,
tongue in cheek, if you will. I don't know what you want to call it, but you know, no one's
right.
They're still going to watch The View
and it's weird what you get fired for, because what Whoopi did, if a white dude said that, hey, he'd be fired.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Who's controlling the floodgates? Is it the network? Is it social media? Is it, you know, this conglomerate somewhere that, again, whatever the agenda is opening the gates again on Chappelle, or limiting the gates on a Whoopi and or Behar?
Well, you know, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, Leon, but I was talking, and what's happening now. You know, because I'm writing a book about something that happens in the 60s. So I'm following that kind of pop culture and historical thing, you know, war, hippie movement, who they destroy. It's the same thing. It's the same playbook from the 60s. It's just updated. And it's the same players on the opposite end. All the hippie generation failed. Look what they've done.
And you're right. Admittedly, some are actually saying that, and I can't remember the if it was a YouTube video on some thing expose they were doing, and you do have that generation going, yeah, we failed, and we're hoping that this generation, will pick up the ball. Did Gen Xers do it? Well, not necessarily. Now you have millennials and Gen Zs who are in some degree, I think, passionate, but it's almost, I don't want to say it's warped because I think that comes off like, my way's better than theirs, but is the thinking too skewed to, and when I say black or white, that's not a color, it means the gray area.
Right.
It's this way or it's this way. And are we seeing that now? And is that this generation's approach on the hippie movement or I was going to make a joke, but I can't make the joke because I can't remember those big flare pants that in the 90s that kids wore.
Yeah.
Well, no, they were much bigger than that, but it was a whole thing. So now that we're in that age, as we move into retiring and sitting on the front porch swing, passing that torch, are we... I don't know if I'm okay with cancel culture. I think it's ridiculously got in the way where it's somebody's opinion trouncing on another person's opinion with 20 other voices instead of one voice.
Right.
So is our hippie movement, what do we burn? Our iPhone? Well, hell no, that's $1,200, and I didn't get the insurance because who pays for insurance?
Right.
But what are we burning? What are we doing? And hopefully, I don't know, engaging millennials to
there
be
was
the torchbearers for Gen Z.
You're in Texas.
Yeah, there was this really interesting conversation.
Exactly. That's a whole nother world.
On my page.
All right. Fellas, no offense, but I'm exhausted. I'm out.
All right, George. Thank you, brother.
Good night,
Good
y'all.
to see you.
Had a
It
good
was
time.
great to see you.
All right,
Look
take
forward
care,
to the TikTok wine connoisseur videos.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with that, but you guys said it was a good idea, so hell, let's do it.
Might as well. Absolutely.
Sleep on it, man.
Night, fellas.
brother.
Good
Love
night.
you.
See you, George.
Yeah. So, what was I
Oh,
saying?
more screen space. Look. I'm more important now.
It was.
Look at
According
that
to my
bronze
generational media
lion sitting
mindset.
there. Yeah.
How come I'm not in square number one again? Isn't that the
Oh, we
most
had a
important
Lee and
square?
Jason
Oh, there you
had a
go.
Lee and
That's
family
dating
going on
yourself.
earlier.
Square number one.
Why am I not center square?
Square number one. But yeah, and it's weird because we all write, and so one of the most bizarre things, and we don't have to talk about what she complained about so we can stay out of the muck, but the fact that J.K. Rowling couldn't even be a part of the celebration of her work that changed all these kids who were not represented, and all of a sudden they think they can just cancel her on her opinion that was valid medically and scientifically. Societally, maybe not.
Right.
But depending on what group and generation you come from. So you have this one sliver of people and does she give a fuck? She's a billionaire.
Right.
She gave $1 billion to nonprofits. And you say she's a monster because she has this opinion when all she was doing was sticking up in her mind for women's rights.
Yeah.
Well,
It's crazy.
I don't see that much difference between now and when I was younger. The controversies still come up.
Right.
People are focused on celebrities and those who are well known.
Right.
So the spotlight's always going to come over. But here's one of the big differences now, is that the feedback that marketers get and the media gets is instant. So they know if J.K. Rowling is rising in Google search and people are typing in and looking at her, want to know her opinion. It doesn't matter if they agree with her or not, like her, dislike her, or they're not obviously not indifferent. Because if they're indifferent, they're not typing her name in to see what's happening. Okay, if her name is rising, well, then she's going to get airplay on video, on text, on social media, you name it. If there's interest, if the interest wanes, it'll disappear. It doesn't sell advertising. Remember this, we're still dealing with an advertising-driven media. Facebook, YouTube, everything's advertising-driven. They want people tuning in, whatever it takes. But they get instant feedback now. Okay, they can see immediately if J.K. Rowling's trending. Get her out there. Let's if not, you won't see her anymore. And then all of a sudden it's like nobody cares. Well, sort of true, and that feedback is instant. So that's part of it. Not that there wouldn't be controversy as society goes through all these changes and social mores shift, and those are things we all experience. I mean, remember you and I talking about George Carlin not too long ago. Remember when the 7 words you couldn't say on TV
and now that 17,003. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but the whole fact that the large, and I tried, going back to the theory I had about the same things happening as the 60s, because what you have to do is you have to create the generation and then destroy it. So how do you do that? Well, okay, so you have all these pillars. They're knocking, if you pay attention to who they're canceling, who they're going after, they're trying to knock down all the pillars in contrary opinion of the narrative, in whatever art form that would be.
There's some truth to that, but the advertising, the media companies, there's a lot more conglomeration. They're still in it for the buck,
right?
And where the eyeballs go, they're going to chase it. There's a lot more opportunity to lead the herd here because the feedback is instant. You and I,
happening. It's the lead. It's people leading. Someone going, Jay Leno's an asshole. Hey, Leon, did you know Jay Leno's a fucking asshole? Did you hear what he did? It's Jay. Did you know Jay Leno was an asshole? Steve, you gotta know Jay Leno was an asshole.
Yeah. Now, if that gains traction,
right,
then it'll get
very
airplay.
Easy to manipulate people who are manipulated for this little square that's held in their hand. It's not that tough, and people think that's this grand. No, it's very easy.
Yeah,
all you need to hear 3 times, and it's the truth, right? Go ahead.
But
Leon.
again, I think it is a secular thing, a different platform. I mean, everyone, you'd say something, or somebody said something at school, and you were the smelly kid. I think now, there is.
I shit in my pants one time, Leon.
I didn't know. One
time.
I was that kid, but it just. I also think that there are instigators, of course, and I think that there are people who also feel in their mind that if they comment, or if they don't comment, then they're somehow missing out.
Mm-hmm.
So Jay Leno's an asshole. Okay, I missed that boat, but yeah, he's an asshole.
Right.
Or yeah, he's an asshole because I heard he's an asshole. Yeah, I heard he molested his staff.
Listening.
Well, and that's the thing.
Right.
And again, so how do we, we talked about this anonymity with people who are on social media, and is it and would you call it doxing or
doxing.
When you post people's relevant information? Well, we're still doing that anyway. I get the electric bill in my name and my address. So
right.
I guess, is it allowable to, is it a freedom under the Constitution that somebody can have anonymity, spread whatever they're going to spread online, with zero consequences? Or do we need societal rules that go back to maybe a golden rule, if you treat people how you want to be treated, which, again, very thin, to now become a law that says, I mean, we're seeing these laws or dismissal of laws that are almost trying to solve issues that have always been there, but almost band-aid them. Again, defund the police. I mean, sure, there's probably some training that needs to be done, but defund all the police and limit laws on what the police are allowed to do.
Come up with these terms just to piss off half the people.
Well, and I think that
What
goes back to
that, but when they name it that, they'll keep it because it pisses off 50% of the people. You know what I mean? It's stupid.
Well,
it becomes a binary issue, defund or not, and that's really not that's really not the core of it.
Right.
It's, well, maybe we need to reduce the funding a bit, but it's always presented as either or. Either we defund them. Oh no, they're not going to. There'll be no more. Yeah. Or we'll pay them anything they want. It's that's what we get. So you create the two camps. And the response is supposed to be, you're either for us or against us. And what in life works that way? Very little. But it creates an emotional response.
Right.
And it gets people all riled up.
Right.
And they're talking, texting. And that's what, that's what the media tools want. They don't want indifference.
No matter what get into, freedom of speech, politics, this, that, and the other, There's one issue that's tying everything together right now, and that's people think their emotions matter to everyone else, and they don't.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Law is not based on emotion.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think, half these people should have to do this because they can't control their anxiety, and now we have to be forced to, even though what they're doing is wrong.
Right.
But I can't say that or I'll get canceled, even though it's a fact.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
But for J.K. Rowling to be, not invited to her own thing.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, she's a huge giant. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought she decided
J.K. Rowling
not to go at one point. But she's a pinpoint target for controversy, and I'm telling you, only because people are interested. I mean, everybody knows who she is.
Right.
She's got notoriety, and for whatever reason, when a controversy arises with her name attached, I guess people are, on the search engines.
Right.
What did she say?
Yeah.
Whether they agree or not, I don't know, but I'm telling you, wouldn't get airplay if it's not trending.
And us being
off.
authors and, fiction people, we tend to wander when we see things, and when we see a pattern, we put it into story mode. And a lot of the stuff that, it's, because we were talking when all this first started, the pandemic, we were glad that no one was that our conversation wasn't this. Because it would have freaked a lot of people out just because of what we've read and viewed and all this stuff, and and people think for some reason that the government that we live under is some type of angel when they do many things around the world that are just horrific. And they won't. They would never do that. What?
Well, let me ask a question.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna run. I just wanted to say good night.
All right, Jay. Thank you, brother.
Yep. All right.
Love
Jason,
you, man.
good night, man.
Love you too.
See you, Jason.
Later.
Okay. Yep.
It's
I
don't know,
had
maybe
a different box. I want that.
Yeah,
I
we were
want that
vertical.
box. I want this box.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
I had a good train of thought, and I think I might have just lost it on the box thing because it made me go, oh wait, that's a different box. What was I going to say?
Looks more like Nightline now. Dating myself
okay, I got
again.
it. All right, so in this day and age, and in any day and age, but more so this day and age, because again of the quickness of being able to look at content, see content, react to content. Is it a new societal norm to be more aware of how to read a room? Meaning, again, anybody, if asked a question or chimes in on a situation like the JK issue, and I think this goes back to her comment about transgenderism. I can't remember. Do we all have to comment? And I guess, are we expected to comment if you are at that stature?
Well, here's the thing. It shouldn't have mattered what she said.
Well, that's why I'm asking. Is it a new societal norm in this day and age with technology to understand how to read the room? Again, if the question was posed, and I know there's maybe some solidarity there, overarching, logical, factual side aside, is it, and again, do we censor ourselves in a way to maybe, and when I use the term censor, again, that's very broad and very general.
Right.
Do we control ourselves to say, well, you know what, I don't have a response either way, and we end it? Or because of media and the need to feel like you want a trend, to be a part of it, or you absolutely care, and how do you weigh that balance out of absolutely caring, but then remaining relevant? You have to chime in on these things.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't know. I think for me, as I said, I want to chime in on certain things, but I'm like, well, I better not. So I'll backspace. I'll write it out. And one of these days I might hit send and it might say something like where it gets misconstrued, but maybe that was my thought. I don't know. So is it a new norm to read the room? I don't know, but
I think
it seems to be lopsided. And from just on a social media point of view, I'll just make it about social media. So over the past, since the pandemic started, and even, because that was right, it had a lot to do with the election, whatever. I probably deleted 250 people who thought it was okay to call for the death of their fellow Americans on any level. I don't care what you believe, what you don't believe. That's no. That person's not walking into my house if he thinks or she thinks that because they believe differently that their life should end. And that really surprised me and disgusted me on a huge level,
But here's how things have changed, and our perspective is tainted by our experience.
Mm-hmm.
And the three of us grew up during a time, and I'm a little bit before you, where the thought of expressing an opinion that potentially the whole world could see. I mean, when you think about it, here we are talking about this. You're going to post it, and potentially anybody on the planet can watch this and listen to what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we grew up, that was an impossibility.
Right.
And it was it was unheard of. And if you wanted to make an editorial comment, you sure as heck weren't going to get on the local news station.
Right.
They weren't going to see your face or hear your voice.
Also remember this: when we were kids, you'd hear this is an editorial before they even said it. So you knew.
Yeah, exactly. But those were few and far between. They were typically the station manager, at the local news station making commentary, and maybe occasionally someone else. But and even if you wanted to write an editorial to the newspaper, the likelihood of your letter getting posted was unlikely.
Right.
There was a lot of filtering. Now you got an opinion, you put it on a Facebook, YouTube, whatever. If it doesn't get censors at this point, that's fairly recent thing that's becoming more onerous. But you can go to another platform. You can just put it out there. Nobody needs to filter themselves anymore. But we still carry that experience with us. So I think if we see something on, I don't care what platform we view it on, it's like, wow, that's on TV. Well, it isn't even TV anymore. And there might be, 10 people that have watched.
Yeah.
So back when we grew up, it was on TV. I mean, we thought, well, it's important. A lot of people are seeing it. Now it's out there lost in the ether among millions and millions of posts. So the people that are brought up in that environment, they're like, oh, so what? Oh, I saw it on YouTube. Well, there's a gazillion things on YouTube. You couldn't watch them all in your lifetime.
Right.
So what? And there's more every day. There's more content every day than I think I read somewhere. There's the amount of content that's available online is daily is just outrageous.
Yeah,
so it's not a big deal. It's a big deal for us.
Yeah.
We think and pontificate and like, wow, how's the implications in the next couple of generations? Like, what? I don't care.
Right.
It's very different perspective. Not different issues, just different perspective with these tools. It's interesting to watch.
Yeah, it is interesting to watch. And again, for me, which is maybe my own question I haven't been able to answer.
Yeah.
Do I need to chime in on this thing, and whatever it is?
Mm-hmm.
And I think just maybe out of some, I don't know, fear, I choose to be very careful on what I'm going to say. Am I thinking too much about it? Yeah, I mean, but it's just interesting to me that if I am going to say something that again, there is that respect, there is that it goes through a few planning stages before it actually goes to the thumbs. I'm a typer with the thumbs, so.
Right.
I do have to, I probably spend more time on it, and the stuff that I quickly send out again is out of jest, and either way still gets misconstrued. But I will say there was an expert who said, before you respond to anything, write it with a pen and paper.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you're tangibly using that muscle to work the pen, and you're thinking about what it looks like, if it's legible. That gives you those few seconds to really think about what you want to say. And I think, unfortunately, again, because of technology, it's just so easy to pick up the phone and go, oh, what did V say? And, click, 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 send, and it's out there in the ether for perpetuity. And so, again, I don't know. It is maybe, I know it's probably my social norm, which is why I asked, is it a global social norm to not have to comment on anything and be able to read the room in a way that, where politicians, it's gotten so interesting, even on the political end, with candidates who are now, I think there was she was going for a railroad commission in Texas where she posed nude on a oil derrick.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah, so be it. But it was like, what's the point? Is the point that no one can censor
publicity
me? Well, no, exactly right. But when you look at it, you have people, voters, who hopefully are responsible enough to be like, okay, look, what's your platform here? Tell me why I should vote for you, versus, oh, great rack, she's naked, Yahoo, she has to win. And so let's just say she secures a seat, has zero knowledge, zero understanding, and we have the same stuff that we have where people just give rhetoric, and they're sitting there trying to represent a constituency, and we look globally and even secularly in our little communal political worlds like we're crazy.
Well, think about it. We in our lifetime, we had politicians like movie actors, running for big state office or the presidency.
Yeah.
And honestly, what was their qualification? It's similar to that, but in some respects, the difference is this lady, whoever she was, she can game the system without having to be a movie star. She just did something outrageous, got lots of attention. It may get her votes, or it may not. But if it gets her votes, it's pop culture, so to speak, that got the attention, the spotlight on her briefly, perhaps long enough for her to garner awareness, and maybe she'll get into office. But I see parallels to that, like Arnold Schwarzenegger ran and won governor. How did people know about Arnold? Well, he was in a crap load of movies. What was he a good choice for governor? Hell, I don't know. I don't care, but maybe
doesn't matter anyway.
He got the office, and he had an influence, but he wasn't a dictator. He didn't do everything that his heart desired. There's some checks and balances, but how did he win? Well, people knew who he was. They either liked him or didn't. Or if they liked him, they may have pulled the lever. I don't know. I see parallels. The difference, but the difference is this. This lady did this, and she has access that never would have been available 20 years ago, unless she was a movie star, perhaps. So she posted it on social media, got attention. The interest, the clicks, the search engine tags were on the rise, and the media companies said, oh, this is trending. This is trending. Get it out there. Facebook puts it out there. They put it out there because it's trending. They want engagement. They want eyeballs. They want ad revenue.
Right.
It worked.
Yeah, no, it works. It does. It does. And unless I'm like trying to be all this concerned, I'm not. It's just an interesting. The narrative has changed in some capacity, but it's all relevant. It's all relative. It's something that it's very interesting to me, and again, especially from the side of politics where hopefully people are doing things for the right reasons. And again, maybe I'm the ignorant one in some way with this never land.
When you run for office, you need to find a tank and climb up there naked.
You're right about that. And it will be a fish tank.
You never know. But you got to come up with your own
You're
shtick.
right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
But it may not work. There's no guarantee. For this lady, it worked for whatever reason, For whatever
you get
reason.
older, you develop a good rack, but
yeah, but again, the point I'm trying to make is 30 years ago, that wasn't an opportunity.
No, I get it. No, you're right.
If she was a movie star and had a following behind her, she may have made it into some local papers or national papers on coverage. But now it's instant.
Yeah.
And as soon as it starts to rise, all these media companies are like, get it out.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that's on automatic pilot too.
Yeah.
Because Facebook, when you get the feed and those things come across, they're targeted for your interests.
Yeah.
But there's also stuff on there as it's trending, same Twitter, but all of these social media companies that they're selling advertising, they want to get it your way. If people aren't clicking, it's like, well, there's interest. Come on.
Yeah.
We want eyeballs. We're selling ads here,
Yeah.
Speaking of selling ads, this podcast is brought to you by vaudevillepres.com. And I want to say this is the funniest birthday post from today. That goes to Kevin Williams, who's a longtime shit giver. It says, happy 87th birthday, Vince. And the picture on the cake is a toilet. And it says, sorry, your balls touched the water.
Winner!
That is good.
Oh no!
That's why I was laughing while you guys were talking. I was like, okay.
Well, and at the same time, in extreme fear,
Gravity's a cruel mistress.
Well, gravity, or you're like, that's probably the only time that you're gonna say 20 prayers.
Yeah,
Please go down. Please go down. Please go down. Please don't overflow. Please don't overflow. Please don't overflow. I promise. I promise. I promise.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the panic of the overflowing toilet.
That sound is undeniably the worst sound ever. That burp.
Can you imagine
You're
if
like,
they
oh,
fined you for that?
what in the?
Mhm.
Please, 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 please. That'll be. Hey, no, see that I
the
found my
water rises,
campaign. Well, no, I
panic
found my
attack.
campaign. My campaign there. Picture this: the bathroom, slow pan into the toilet, and you hear the sound effect, do a burp, and I step in with a suit and tie and say, you know what? We're not going to let this crap overflow. We're going to stop it right here. And if you elect me, and then you flush the toilet and you plunge it all, and the problems are solved.
Well, here, let me help you out with
Leon
that. Okay?
Ravel, your current.
Let me help you out with that. You need the ass cam. You got to have your naked ass on the toilet.
Right. That's right.
So,
And
yeah,
then
in this day and age.
this nice shot of it coming up.
Yeah, your big fat ass just coming up.
Would you mind?
That might do it. We'll see if it trends.
Like, you gotta watch this video. It's horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have the shock value, way off the
I
chart.
think that'll do it, and we'll see if we, if it trends.
No guy in a
I win.
suit. No.
It's time to take a political dump. Leon Ravel.
Right.
That's right. We're draining this swamp.
Yeah.
The snake in one hand and a toilet plunger in the other, and
Yeah.
some galoshes with your foot in the commode. After that whole
Well, it's all about camera placement,
Well, and I was just gonna say, a black bar right across the mid-level, like you're naked, so you're standing there with all this attire, or your tools rather, and you're draining the swamp. If I get desperate, I'll try that.
Yeah, well, the old saying, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
that's
and
exactly
it's
right.
indifference that kills. That's the killer. Indifference is the killer. It's sad but true.
Yeah.
Nice. That's funny. Someone just sent me a link of the Motley Crue tour, like I didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Wow. I need to look that up now, because that's that other show you were on. You were talking a lot about it.
So it's Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, and Joan Jett. Joan Jett's amazing. I've seen her 14 times. I don't understand why Poison's on the tour, to tell you the truth. They should have gotten someone like I know they're a fan favorite, but they're just the lesser of the bands. That's just a fact. And,
well, I'm curious to look at the Motley Crue guy, because
they should have had like Tesla or something. You know what I mean, Leon?
Yeah,
that would have been a good show.
Like that would have been a better.
Yeah. Well,
better fit.
So this tour, it's still piggybacking off their farewell tour because of the pandemic, though, right? This isn't a new tour. Like, okay, we ended the show because they did end, and they were supposed to do shows, and the pandemic happened.
This was supposed to be those. That's these shows.
Okay. Well, yeah. So we're going back in some time 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was stadium tour because they never did stadiums.
Yeah. Again, I mean,
they never did stadiums. Why is that?
Just they always did. They never did. I don't know why that was like Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
They
wanted the air conditioning.
Who else? Like, who else can play a stadium?
I don't know. I would.
Metallica sell out a stadium.
When they first came back in makeup, they did stadium tours, but that's a level above the 35,000 seater. That's it's the closest thing in America that you can get to something that they do over in Europe.
And you know what, guys? I don't know if I was already on a path to become a bit of a codger here, but I don't know if I want to be in a room with 50,000 other people. I've gotten so used to my own little small world in my own little box that if I even go to the store and deal with people, it's just such a pain in the butt to fight for parking, to fight for a shopping cart, to fight for the last can of this or that. And, I kind of got used to, all right, they're going to let me in because I'm in a line. It sucks, but hey, I get to shop on my own. I don't have to worry about anybody because, there's no time limit. They're just limiting people in capacity.
Yeah.
Now that the world's going back to some normalcy, 50,000 other people I want to be in a room with? I don't think so.
I'm with you, man, but I've always felt that way.
That's why
I do not like big crowds.
And
unless I'm performing.
Well, that's it. If I'm on stage, 50,000. I don't want to be in 50,000 spec next to the center of the crowd. I don't want to do that.
Most of the concerts that I've seen since I was 21 have been side stage. I don't want to sit in the audience.
Well, that's the thing too. I want to have my own little area. Yeah. And so again, I've been lucky with whatever the concerts I'm taking the kids to, where I buy the tickets in my own little area, and that's it. I'm not dealing with people going crazy and all this other stuff. And I'll tell you, crowds anymore, I just don't want to be a part of it. I don't. I'm glad I'm able to get my groceries online when I go do that.
Mm-hmm.
If I got to go in the store, I'm going to do that very quickly. But it's just it's kind of a weird feeling that the world again is going back to some normalcy after literally just shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, yeah, do I really want to go grocery shopping? Well, the kids are hungry, but I guess I do.
It's changed the way that people work. It changed the way that
people
want to do. People are taking risks now that they wouldn't have because they're like, oh, well, I could die. Not that they could have, but in their mind, they were made to believe that they could die. So maybe they're going to take a risk that they didn't see prior. They're like, oh, that's not important.
Well, there are a lot of,
there are
a lot of people that love that
race, not doing the rat race. They don't want to run anymore.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people that love the packed stadiums and packed houses.
Yeah,
not my cup of tea. There are a lot of people that like that stuff.
I get that, and I give them that regard and that respect.
Yeah,
one thing I can't stand the carnivals. Carnivals.
Really?
I fucking hate carnivals.
Okay.
That
everyone's bumping into you. Like, what the fuck? I just don't. I have a hearing issue, so if there's more than like 4 external sounds going on, it all becomes white noise. Just like I can't get a bowling alley. I get annoyed just because.
Understood.
Yeah, but.
Well, I'm taking my son who found this band on YouTube called Leonid and Friends, and their biggest thing is they do covers, and they were actually a Russian cover band, and they do a lot of Chicago stuff. So he fell in love with the Chicago group again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about my special needs son. So I'm going to take him Wednesday to see Chicago in Albuquerque. And so he doesn't know yet. So we're just going to show up. And as soon as the band plays, we're going to jam out and have some fun. And I'm looking forward to that. It's a small venue.
Cool.
So it's going to be really cool. So I'm gearing myself up to be around people. So I'm not that big of an asshole when I get to the thing. I'm going to be happy. And, we're just going to chill and hang out. But, when you talk about stadium tours, I just don't know, man. It better be a fantastic band that's doing some stuff like getting shot out of cannons, and I want to see it.
It's got like Tommy Lee's got a whole roller coaster that goes around the whole stadium, supposedly with his drum kit.
That's insane. I mean,
really?
When I say insane, it's cool, man. It's
like a
really
$1 million setup just for the drums. It's huge, fucking Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're going to sell them out. I think they're already sold out a couple of places. I think the closest in my area, they're going to be in Denver, and I think it's already sold out.
Yeah, they just added a few shows. They added Indiana the other day, and then 5 other shows, I think. But yeah, people are doing the ticket, But Poison, I don't think should be on the lineup personally. Def Leppard, it's a great band. If Motley left, Def Leppard could easily headline that. They
hold down the fort. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not Is Poison even still with Bret Michaels? I have no idea.
Bret's constantly touring, so he does Bret Michaels when he's not doing Bret. It's
okay.
Poison,
So he'll still do the Poison thing.
Yeah, I mean he's out there and people know him and people like him. It's just weird that out of all the bands that we came up with, that Bon Jovi and Poison are the survivors. That just blows my fucking mind. I don't get it.
It's
it's other bands more talented should have, but they didn't. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I mean
that one doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Some have passed, others again.
Well, the crowd often votes,
right.
But
exactly right.
Yeah. The crowd sustains it, but if you get in front of the crowd, sometimes that's that's a corporate.
Yeah, to musicians, it's one
gift.
thing, but to fans who aren't musicians, it's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But
the crowd sustains it.
You can tell the musicians in the crowd.
Exactly right. That's exactly
People
right.
used to think I wasn't having fun. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, I'm seeing what the drummer's doing, seeing what the lighting guy's doing,
that's not how he plays it on the record. I don't play it that way.
Dude,
I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, someone missed a background vocal.
Yeah. That's
right.
I'm a great armchair quarterback when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
I say armchair quarterback because I'm not playing the game, but I'm sure the sideline's bitching. That's not the symbol that he's supposed to be playing with.
Right. All right. So we've gone into the 27th, and my birthday is now ended.
Oh,
just want to thank you guys for joining me. We're gonna wrap it up here, and that was great, man. I think there was some funny stuff said tonight for sure. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Lynette. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, George. Am I missing anybody? Thank you, Leon. Thank you, Steve. And Paul for enjoy your sleeping pill, buddy. And Paul, he's like, shit, I forgot I took a sleeping pill like 20 minutes ago. So he called me. So we had like a 20-minute conversation before the podcast. But anyway, all right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you hanging out.
Happy birthday again.
Happy birthday.
And, it's kind of a cool thing. 53 is going to be a good one, but I think my son just walked in the door. Anyway. All right, everybody. Have a good one. And
good to see you, Leon.
Steve, what can I say, man? Great memories. Pleasure.
Enjoyed
Absolutely. Let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to find there's other things that I have to do during this, and I was in the wrong area.
Thank you, everybody, for coming to Vaudeville Press and celebrating V's birthday with everybody.
Later, people.